We are live.
All right. Welcome, players, back to our D&D session, episode 2 of the Prince of Pain and the Shadowing Worlds. I believe, Wraith, you elected to give a quick recap this week of what had gone down last week in regards to our first episode and our first steps into the campaign. So if you want to take it away, it's up to you.
All right. The adventurers appeared on a floating island in a world unknown to them. After a short bout of curiosity amongst them, they found out it was a holy place with 2 magic crystals floating in the center. A being appeared before them and introduced himself as Gothor, master of this realm. After informing our adventurers that they would be the new keepers of the realms, and that a mysterious figure broke the crystals apart, a group of skeletons appeared from a shadow rift to the north of them. With the skirmish, the keepers laid waste to the skeleton enemies. Lord Cairo, master of death, appeared before them, freezing them all in place. He placed a finger on Valen's forehead and knocked him nearly flat on the floor. After Cairo disappeared with an ominous message to the adventurers, they peered into the gate the skeletons came from, each seeing their own visions of the world. Using the stones, Valens and Orpheus closed the gate, and vanished from this plane with the other keepers utilizing the crystal. Where they went up, who's to know?
Find out next time on Dragon Ball. No. All right, cool. So yes, for the most part, Wraith, you did an excellent job in recapping. Thank you for that.
For the most part.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, like some of the words that you use, like stones instead of crystals. I'm sure you guys will come to know. These are the crystals. They're actually known as Everflow's Balance. You guys will come to know more information as you progress through the campaign on what these actually, like what the crystals do, why it's called Everflow, and all this other stuff. But for now, let's take us back into the game. Before we get started, a couple of things in regards to our Twitch audience. Tofu and Sharka are fully immersed into our campaign. They will not be able to respond to you or talk to you using their voices. They will be able to continue to chat with you. But again, like you're probably already used to, you guys are used to speaking to your chat. That won't be happening while you're being fully immersed in our campaign today. So just a quick heads up again to the chat. Our players will also probably be in the chat as well, talking to you guys. So sit back and enjoy as we bring us back in to
Balance, keep your camera on.
our last scene. So last week we left off, as Wraith had explained, the party figured out how to transport themselves off of the floating island where they obtained the crystals. Using the power of the crystals, they were able to will themselves forward. So where they will themselves, they're not too sure of. They just obtained the knowledge of being able to do this. Last we saw the party members, they were floating in like a space-like existence. And as they were floating there, they were beginning to, I guess, fall or descend. As you guys are descending, we have a little bit of a retcon here. I'm gonna say you guys are able to see or notice each other. However, Minuet is not with the party. So as you guys are floating around and you're about to start descending down onto one of the 2 worlds, you turn and you notice that Minuet is not there. You all hear Minuet's voice in your minds and a soft song that she's playing as you hear her voice. She says, "Although I am chosen to be a keeper, I will not be joining you at this moment. I have been tasked with another matter. However, I shall rejoin you all one day." Thorin, you are the only person that hears this next small statement. She says to you, "Brother, don't worry. I am okay." The voice fades, and as you all begin to again descend, you guys start descending extremely fast. The magics that this crystal is putting out towards you guys, your minds aren't able to handle, and you all begins to pass out and start to have some type of vision or dream happening. Let's bring us in. How is my microphone? Roll 20 is working okay. I'm going to bring in the next scene. We should start to hear some music as well. Just let me know if everything's working on your end, and we'll get started.
Yeah, we're good.
Good. Okay. Okay. Here. You smell the warm ocean air of the Isle of Britannia as you're sitting near one of your favorite fishing spots close to your village. After you've gotten your quota of fish for the tribe, you turn around to see your village on fire. You say to yourself, how can this be? We are a peaceful tribe. This is not happening. You drop your catch and turn to run to the village to see what looks like green monster men with pointed ears and large teeth growing from their bottom jaws, slaughtering everyone. You grab your hunting glaive and rush at the intruders, only to hit an invisible wall that you cannot pass. You slam your glaive against it over and over. Unable to break this barrier, your hands begin to bleed and your eyesight begins to fade. Moments later, they open again, and with the blue-like shimmer filter which seems to be over your eyes, you can see everything happening in slow motion. Your glaive in your hands feels cold, icy almost to the touch, and the glaive seems to magically close up the wounds in your hands with some type of icy substance. The glaive sparkles and shimmers as if there is an unknown power aiding you in this time of need. You begin to rage. You swing again, this time cutting the invisible barrier easily with the blue arc as the glaive slams through, shattering it like an icicle falling from the tree in a cold winter day. The vision fades as you run towards the attackers, glaive pointed for the kill. Thorin. I'm going to lower the music a little bit because it's a little loud. Thorin. You get a flash, which seems more like a memory to you, of your brother and your father arguing. You hear your brother's voice, which you've long forgotten. He says, I do not wish for your silly legacy, old man. When you die, do not beckon for me. I refuse. I have my own things to sort out. How could you not remember your own daughter who's been missing for years? He seems so angry. You try to call out to your loving brother who taught you sword fighting techniques and gave you your first real sword. However, he does not turn around or even notice you. You turn to grab the attention of your father, but he too doesn't notice you and lies still in bed, unable to wake. You turn to try and find someone, anyone, that would be able to help you bring your family back together. You run to your sister's room, only to find an empty bed, as you remember her abduction. You can't seem to find Harmony or Rhapsody as well. You're all alone in this big place. As you turn to go to your room to get your sword and go after your brother, a sudden chill fills the air. You then hear a voice call out to you, and he calls you by your name, your real name. As you turn to see who it is, a large greatsword is thrusted into your back. As you look down to feel the blade run through your stomach, you see the purplish and blue substance pouring forth from you, almost like when you saw Gothor having that wound in his stomach. The vision fades as you fall to the floor. Traherne. With the glowing glade around you, you sit cross-legged. After just leaving the free villages of Neath, you completed your last task for the Adventurers Guild there, and you finally have some peace and quiet. You finally earned enough coin to be able to relax for days, weeks, maybe even months. You begin conversing with the trees and the birds as they sing songs of beautiful chirping. You begin foraging as you normally do every morning. You say to yourself, can't start the day without a good glass of warm coffee. I mean, tree sap and warm nectar. You jokingly say to yourself. Your craving for common folks' coffee while working for the man has become addictive. You turn to grab an empty jar from your satchel to pour the liquids in, attempting to make your own version of this strangely addictive substance. You notice a strange figure standing in front of you. You stand to speak to this figure, but your legs won't move. Your body's frozen, and you sense a cruel, necrotic aura that this stranger possesses. The stranger says to you, if you know what's best, you will hand over the crystal. Traherne, I'm going to share a handout of what this stranger looks like. The handout has a name on it. However, you don't know this name yet.
Okay.
And I'm going to share it to everyone. Again, you don't know this, but you are visited by the Prince of Pain. The stranger is wearing a full set of plate armor, head to toe, with what looks like splashes of purple and blue all over the dark-colored armor. He's gripping his left arm, as he seems to be wounded. Before you can speak, you hear a voice in your mind call out to you. It says, run. You shake your head and gather your courage and begin to speak back to the stranger and ask, who are you?
Hmm.
At this time, he replies, I am the Prince of Pain. Your legs finally unstiffen, and you turn to check your surroundings. As you turn, you see a flash of what looks like a spider. Bigger than most spiders, maybe a foot or two tall, with blue legs and blue body and with white blotches around its torso. Also what looks like maybe 30 white eyes. The creature flinches, and again you hear in your mind, run. Another handout for you of the creature that you're currently seeing. This time, as you look at the creature, you notice something. Someone riding on its back. Your sister. She looks different. Slightly older than you saw her. Maybe 80s, 90s now, which would be about 16 in human world. You've lost count how many years it's been since you last saw her. I also have a handout of what she currently looks like in your dream. You've lost count how many years it's been since you last saw her. Before you can gather the words to say or even move, the creature vanishes with a puff of blue smoke along with your sister. You turn to run after her as a large explosion erupts behind you. The vision fades as you run through the glowing glaive with the explosion behind you. Valence. Valence, can you see the map currently in front of you?
Yes.
And your character token is there, correct? I think that's the old token, right?
Yeah, I'd have to
Yeah, I'll
zoom out
put it
the
on
map
there.
a little bit. You're fine. It's there.
I took off the old token. Let me draw on the new one for you.
Okay.
There we go. Balance. The heat from the volcanic ash and lava begins to sear your skin, as you get closer and closer to the source of power controlling these lands. You look around you. You are in Death's Desert, ascending the volcano. You climb to the next set of rocks that lead to a strange set of stairs. As you turn to confirm your bearings, you see nothing. You are now in a pitch black space-like plane with only a set of stairs leading you upwards. Valence, you can follow the stairs upwards.
Boop,
After
boop.
what feels like hours, your legs begin to weaken. You say to yourself, why am I doing this? Who am I even? A holy paladin? For who and for what reason? The gods never spoke to me. At this moment, you hear an oddly familiar voice respond to you. It surprises you, as you thought you were just talking to yourself in your mind. I'm going to ask you to stop once you get to the top of the stairs there. Right there, perfect. I'm just going to move you back just a little bit.
Okay.
So once again, at this moment, you hear an oddly familiar voice respond to you. It surprises you as you thought you were only talking to yourself in your mind.
Okay.
Mortal child. That's not quite right. Well, you are mostly mortal. And have you already forgotten? You have spoken to me only moments ago. Are you that blinded to think your very existence is your own and question the existence of beings greater than yourself?
Before you, you see the god of death. The searing heat quickly turns to a cold chill as the air around you shifts and changes like before. You again can see your breath, like a cold winter day as you breathe heavily.
Pledge yourself to me, and I will grant you the power to see your goals met. I will enlighten you to show you who you really are. You will be able to obtain all the glory and fame you seek, my child. Devote yourself to me as your patron and call me when needed. As you have witnessed countless times, death is the only true outcome for all those living. Our goals align, Valence, as without life, there could be no death.
Before you can respond, the vision fades.
Alright.
Orpheus. Orpheus, you do not see a vision. Instead, you're transported to a strange place. Orpheus, can you see the map?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't move forward yet. We're going to go through some dialogue here. Again, you don't see a vision. Instead, you find yourself in a very weird place to you. Before you, you see a blood trail of footsteps leading to a large stone door. Behind you, you see a large pool of blood, along with large pools of lava and rock. The heat scorches your skin as you shift and move around. You hear a voice. Roll me 1d20, Orpheus. And tell me what your result is. I want to get you guys used to reading out
You
your
rolled in 20.
That's funny.
20. Okay. So, okay.
It's a lot different than last week.
Orpheus, you are
Right?
able to move. You're not frozen or anything like that. You're fully aware of where you are at the moment. You're in some type of really hot place. However, before you, you see something come forward. Sanguine one, come forward. Don't
Who are
be
you?
afraid, my child. I did not call you here to harm you. I called you here to simply converse. Orpheus, you see before you, can you see the creature directly in front of these stone doors on the map?
Yeah.
Okay. You see a beautiful looking elf. You're not right sure how elves are supposed to look, since you've only met two now with Minuet and Traherne. This creature in front of you has pale skin, orange eyes, long flowing silver hair. The only thing that makes you really question whether this is an elf or not is the large bat-like wings behind the creature. I'm going to give you a handout of what this person looks like. You remember the voice of Valence say to you when you were on the island about what he saw looking into the shadow door, about the volcano in Death's Desert? You think to yourself, is this where you are? The creature speaks up to you again, Orpheus, to respond when you said, who are you? He says, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Ulrich Dadi. He bows and steps closer. You have noticed some powers within yourself, have you not?
Yes.
See, I am not exactly mortal, and I think you have some of that same immortal blood within you too. You and I, however, are slightly different. See, I am not exactly alive, and I have not been for maybe a millennia, 2, 3. Time seems to slip my mind. The sleep has not been very pleasant. See, I've been called back for a purpose which I hope you can assist me with. He steps even closer. Orpheus, at this point, you attempt to speak, but like when the god of death approached, your voice is now gone. He speaks to you now, but this time it rings in your mind instead of coming from his direction. He's now directly like right in front of you, but his lips aren't moving when he's speaking at this moment. You hear in your mind, I will call to you again sometime, Sanguine One. Listen for my call. The blood within you urges. It wants more, and is so strong. You've heard my call before, haven't you? That one time when you needed help, no one was around. I helped you, Sanguine One. I look forward to our time together. For now, farewell. But remember, listen for my call. He then moves with a flash instantly right next to you. He raises a hand, but gently touches your face. He then grabs your body and throws it directly into the blood and lava right behind you as your vision fades. Players, the visions you all have witnessed, you all will remember, unlike when you awake from a dream after a night's rest and you desperately try and remember what that dream was about. This particular scenario where you had a dream or a vision or you're transported to a place, you remember very vividly. Whether it actually happened or not, whether it was a dream or a nightmare or you got transported or not, is unknown. You don't know exactly why you had this vision or dream, but you all will remember it. It's not something like an actual dream where you forget it. Players, this was the end of chapter 1, technically. We're now in chapter 2. Chapter 2 is titled Bayville, the Djinni's Test. You find yourselves all in a new place. You look up as you land. Some of you, actually, let's get everyone. Everyone roll me a d20. Let's see where everyone lands before I start giving you some information.
Oh, I rolled really good today.
All right, so let's see.
I rolled
Morpheus,
15.
what'd you roll?
I rolled 15.
15. Okay, so you land here.
Thorin rolled
Thorin,
15.
Thorin, what'd you roll?
Thorin rolled a 15.
Okay, so you land here. Kahir, what'd you roll?
4.
Ooh, okay. You land here. Valance.
I rolled a 15, I think. 14.
14.
Okay, 14. You land here. And lastly, Traherne, what'd you roll?
4. Put me with Kahir.
You ended
Alright.
up wherever the hell what's her name went.
All right.
Gone. Poof.
Traherne and Kahir, roll me another d20. Kahir,
Okay.
you take 10. It's essentially fall damage. I don't know how that plays into your resistances.
Why am I always the
You don't
first
get-
one to take damage every time?
No, this is,
Okay.
this is Kahir. You
Oh,
will
okay.
take damage, but Kahir as well. So
Thank-
Kahir, this is 10, I guess, bludgeoning damage as you fall directly from the sky during this slip.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but am I?
You're not raging, so the
Yeah, I was
last
gonna say.
moment,
It's like,
I believe
so
you
it's.
canceled your rage.
Yep.
You
so,
you directed your magic into your spear. Last I heard.
Is he
yeah,
down?
yeah. I dispelled my rage on the island. I just wasn't sure if it was going to carry over from the memory or the dream or whatever.
Yeah, the
'Cause you said I
dream.
went into rage.
Yeah, you did, but you didn't.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. So I'll take the full 10.
Traherne, you take 6 fall damage.
It's a lot of.
You all arrive in a place that I do not believe any of you are familiar with. You look up, the sun is in the sky. You hear the sounds of water running nearby. You hear the sounds of a village. Kahir and Traherne, you guys look up and you're actually next to a building. One of you is sitting in mud, the other one is sitting in a bed of carrots that has been freshly harvested. It looks like whoever was working on this carrot field just recently pulled up all the carrots and was going to probably come back to collect them all. Traherne, you're actually roll me a d2 to see if you're sitting in pig shit. 1d2.
Hold up.
It's slash roll. Oh,
If you roll a 1,
Okay.
you're sitting in pig shit.
How do you hit D2?
Slash roll 1d2.
just slash roll 1d2. Spay 1d2.
You're sitting in pig shit.
I'm swimming in that.
Hey, with the nature, so.
Quick question: do you guys hear any music at the moment?
No.
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 Okay. There should be music playing.
Probably carnival
I know why.
music
Okay,
while
I
I'm
know why.
sitting in shit.
It say the jukebox now playing nothing.
Yeah, I know why. Because you guys aren't on the map yet. There is a map for this. So again, here you're next to a building, sitting in a carrot field. No carrots up your butt or anything like that. They're just laid across. Traherne, however, did fall into a pigsty and fell in some pig shit. Orpheus, Traherne, and Valens, you actually land right in the beginning of this particular village. Let's bring you in so you get the map so you guys can take your surroundings. However, Kahir and Traherne, you guys are seriously messed up from this slip into this world. You're definitely looking like you've hurt yourselves, bleeding from different places, possibly a broken bone or two, maybe a rib. However, you are all in a strange village.
That's
Again,
a big-
Orpheus, Traherne, Valens, you guys land safely right outside the village, right before a small little bridge. A patrolman that's in the town recognizes and sees you three outside of the village, does not see Kahir, and the patrolman in the center of the village also does not see Traherne at the moment.
You meant to say Thorin, right? Not Johan. Thorin?
So Traherne is in the pig shit,
Yeah,
and
Thorin is
Kahir
with
is in
us.
the carrots. So they haven't been spotted yet by this patrolman, but you three at the beginning of the village here have been spotted by this particular patrolman. As he spots you, he walks over to the front of the bridge and stands there, kind of like expectantly waiting for you guys to approach. Thorin, Orpheus, and Valence, give me a perception check if you want to see what race this particular humanoid
Oops.
is.
Didn't mean to click that.
Thorin rolled an 8.
Orpheus, I guess you're a little bit too dizzy from the flip or from the slip, the magics that was just casted. You don't even see this patrolman. Thorin, I guess you've seen humans before, even though Orpheus kind of looks like you, and Valence is kind of armored up. But Valence, you're very much aware this is a human.
I think at this point I'm still thinking about what happened during the jump, so I'm still scared. Like
So
confused.
at this
All
point,
of you
we just
are free to do whatever you like. Here again, you're kind of messed up. Traherne, you're pretty messed up as well, and sitting in pig shit. But again, you're not sure where you are. You don't see your Traherne, you don't see your party. Here, I guess you could see them across that little river there, if you look closely enough.
Can I roll a perception check to see if I see him?
Kahir?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of far, so go ahead. Roll me a
Oh.
perception check.
Where's my perceptions?
Or
Nope.
okay. Let's see. How far is he? No.
All right.
Here, you could see these two, but you don't see Valence here, or Valence. Sorry.
So we just appeared here. I see. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk over to the other two and check on them. Like, Thorin, Orpheus, are you guys okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
I think I'm right. Where are we?
Where the other the one with the long ear and the one with the scary face? I forgot the name. Where they at?
No,
Orpheus, you saw Kahir, and so did Thorin. You guys can see him to the right,
Yeah,
sitting in next to some type of building.
we're we're near a human village. I'm not sure where.
Um,
Ooh, can I do is it a lore check or a history check to see if I know where we are, or investigation?
I guess you could do history check, but is there anything that you would think you can recognize based on this particular village that would draw your memory to this, such as maybe the building structures or the statue in front of
The statue.
building?
I was looking at the statue. Yeah.
Yep,
Or
go for it.
and I rolled a 19 on my perception. Is there any identifiers on the human that I saw?
No.
Okay.
Actually, yes. They're cloaked in blue. So back to you guys' handouts. If you want to open up the world map of the human world, because now you guys have identified this as a human. So Terra. Valence, you're very much aware that the kingdom of Killahem Doan's red. Doan's blue, whereas the kingdom of Lothan Doan's red. In regards to like their colors.
Okay.
The Rose Garden Kingdom has different types of colors. You guys aren't limited to a specific color. It's just, you guys have different legions that are represented by different colors, whereas these kingdoms are very much represented in their flags, in their capes, and their sigils with red or blue. The kingdom of Killahem owns their soldiers and their armies and their knights in blue capes, blue sigils, so on. So it's quite possible you're in the southern western continent, just based on that particular knowledge. Do you want to give me that history check to see if you can identify the statue?
Would it be history or an investigation?
History to try and recall what the statue is. Investigation if you want to just try and see what the statue is doing.
Oh, okay.
Or what's on the statue itself. All right, so history, you got a 19. That is definitely the king of Killahem.
Okay.
You can
So I took-
see very very prominently the crown. You've seen this depiction a couple of times in communications from both of the kingdoms, letters that have been received back and forth. Basically what you're aware of is that the Rose Garden Kingdom constantly gets requests for help from both the Kingdom of Killahem and the Kingdom of Lothan in their battles. Basically, they want you to be an ally, but your kingdom has always stayed neutral, refused time and time again. You guys have been littered with these letters at some point, and you've seen the stamp of the king, which is actually a depiction of this particular statue. So you know the wax seal that is stamped on an envelope. It's literally this depiction of the king just holding his sword straight up like this.
So Valence, right? Do
Yeah.
you know where we are?
Yeah. So based on the colors that they're wearing and that statue, we're somewhere in Killahem, a kingdom on the west of Terra.
Doesn't look
Now-
like a castle though, so it could be any of the provinces or villages near the kingdom of Killahem. You just know that
Yeah.
the king rules over this land.
Yeah. I'm not entirely certain where we're at, but given that there's this large statue, it's possible we're near the capital.
Well, I have a lot of these statues at my house as well.
Yes, well, human
The-
villages tend not to have big statues to people just lying around.
Hey, you over there! What are you doing to that crop?
Huh? What? Me not know.
What are you,
Me just
what are you
fall.
doing in there?
Me just woke up here. Here, me come out. Me come out.
All right, my guy. I'm gonna go now that he's moved. I'm gonna start moving across the bridge, and move up near the patrol.
I'll follow you. I just follow
Patrolman,
Valen.
do you guys see this guy's nameplate, Patrolman Rodin?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Patrolman Rodin says to you here. Are you a tribesman of the South? It's very strange to see someone of your kind to be this far inland. What's your name, stranger?
Mika here. Yeah, me live on Isle of Britannia. Where me be?
Rodin looks up to you and kind of eyes the party as they're coming closer to him and turns to the party to address them. Steps back. Friends of yours, tribesman?
More like acquaintances. We've been together for a brief moment. Yeah, they with me.
So,
My guy walks up to the patrolman. Greetings, patrolman. What village are we in, and where are we within this kingdom?
He pauses for a moment, notices your armor and your sigil, and says to you, Rose Garden Knight, the hell is your kind doing out here? You're very far from home, friend.
But before Thurin goes across the bridge and enters the town, he's looking around. All he sees are humans, other than the people he's already met. And he's getting very timid because he realizes he's probably nowhere that he's ever been before, and doesn't know how people are going to address an elf if they've never seen one before. So kind of looking around, timidly, and I'm taking the hood from behind me and just cover my face as I walk in, trying to avoid eye contact from everyone. And kind of facing Orpheus, trying to get his attention to talk to him sideways, to not gain any attention for the patrolman.
Very quickly, I did a couple of rolls. Traherne, you've not been spotted yet, but this patrolman here did hear a sound in your direction and started searching around there. If you want to hide and sneak, it's up to you, and try and get over to the party. But at this moment, you're kind of playing medically solid and sneaking around in the back of the village.
Okay. Did I hear somebody over there on the other side? Like,
Yeah,
am I aware that
you
he's
definitely
okay.
heard someone go, "What? Who's that?"
All right.
Like
So
medically solid style where you're kind of sneaking around in the big ship.
The red
So,
exclamation mark lit up, and he's like, "Bring."
So while all of you guys are moving around, Traherne had opened his eyes and he's just like, oh, what a shitty night. And he's like rummaging around in his backpack looking for some coffee grounds, but can't find any. And he's just kind of annoyed. And then he hears the sound off on the other side of the building. So he's kind of getting his bearings. He's kind of dizzy still from the fall. And I get up and I see a tree line off to the northeast. So I want to climb over this pin that I'm in and start making my way to the west around this left side of the building.
Yeah, the wall that's in front of you is very. You can pretty much just walk over it. Maybe 2 feet height. It's just designed to keep the pigs in place. As you step out, give me a give me a survival check.
Okay.
Give me 2 survival checks. One to see if you smell
Oh.
coffee in the nearby vicinity.
24 for
Ooh.
coffee.
Coffee is definitely coming from the eastern part of this town.
Okay.
And give me a second survival check to. Okay, so the trees in front of you, you can definitely possibly climb up, hide in the trees if you like, or even circle around. You're pretty good at tracking. You can tell that no one really comes back here. There's no footprints around. Nothing regarding like disturbing the wildlife back here. It looks like for the most part the townspeople stay within the town. They don't really go to the back of the forest. To the northeast, there is a pathway that goes further. And as you look further, roll me a perception check really quick since you're the only person from the north of the town. So the north of the town, number 1, you smell smoke. Number 2, you can see billows of smoke rising up from the northern part with some type of ruins. It kind of looks like there was possibly a much bigger town here, but it looks destroyed. It looks like it's been through a war almost.
And you're
So just
referring to
past
north
this
of what we
trees-
see on the map, correct?
Yeah, so just past this tree line here,
Yeah.
and following this road up just maybe about 100 200 yards, you see the smoke. You smell the smoke. There's no active fires that you can see, but you can definitely see some ruins up there. Again, looks almost like a battle went down and everything was destroyed up there.
Can I cast a spell?
You can. What are you looking to do?
So as patrolman Roden, still I'm assuming he's still looking at Kahir, right?
So he's about to dress both Valance and Kahir, because they asked him a question, basically.
So
Asking,
I would sleep behind him, like behind his head,
He's
and
not
then
close. He's gonna back up. He doesn't know who you are. He's only identified 2 out of the 4 of you.
You're not
Well-
sneaky.
well,
Unless you're trying to sneak behind him.
I just sneak behind him. Do I
Roll
roll?
me a stealth check.
You say stealth?
And yes, and tell me what you're gonna do to try and sneak behind him. Because at the moment you're in his direct line of sight.
Where's stealth?
Should be near perception, all that. Right underneath perception. I think it's in alphabetical order.
Oh. Oh, fuck.
Not sneaky at all. Actually, as you go to probably dive behind the building back here, like in this direction, like when you got stumbled by Valance coming through the light, you drop your dagger.
Oh.
And it makes a pretty large pinging sound against this like cobblestone kind of pathway. Not sneaky at all.
Well, I'm still gonna cast a spell.
What spell are you casting?
So I think I'm right here, right? Let's see. I'm gonna cast Charm. What?
Gone person?
Yeah. It's just like I'm started whispering to my ring, and then you see like this. Well, you don't see it, but it's like a force that travel to the ear, the head ear, like Patrolman Rodent.
Yeah, give me a second. I gotta pull up his character sheet. Of course, you're gonna try and charm the guard.
Didn't,
That doesn't.
didn't
really,
plan for that, game master.
I mean, he's not really fighting you guys. He's just questioning because a bunch of people just showed up in this town, and the north looks pretty destroyed. Probably gonna question anything that comes in town.
Yeah, this
Guards.
this spell is not for fighting.
What does he have to? What does he have to make?
He had to do a wisdom saving throw.
He rolled a 10. What's your spell save DC?
So that would that be my charisma? Yeah.
No, so your spell save DC. Go into your character sheet. Go to the third option under spells, and at the top you should say something that says spell save DC. So character sheet spells at the top, spell save DC. It should be a number like 13 or 14.
13.
Okay. He is charmed.
So,
for everyone that's watching, I'll give the description of what the charm does, and then Orpheus, you can tell me what you're doing to charm this guy.
Yeah.
You attempt to charm a humanoid that you can see within range and must make a wisdom saving throw, and does so with advantage if you or your companions are currently fighting it, which nobody's fighting it. If it fails a saving throw, it is charmed by you until the end of the spell, or until you or your companions do anything harmful to it. The charmed creature regards you as a friendly acquaintance. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you.
So I'm just whispering his in like he can hear in his head, like I'm whispering hey, you're gonna view me at your nephew, and these are the people are my friends. We're just visiting the town. You're gonna do what I say.
Patrolman Rodin, as he was about to address Kahir and Valance, abruptly stops, looks up for a moment, looks over at Orpheus and says, "Hey, cousin!
I will look at.
When did you get into town?"
I was like, hey, uncle. Just got here. This is my friend. Can we? I think we one of us
Cousin
got
Rodin.
lost.
What do you mean, uncle? It's me, cousin Rodin.
I'm really sure you're my uncle. I'm your nephew.
I don't know. All I know is that
Inconsistencies of the
I'm
spell.
so happy to see you. He walks over to you, Rodin. Rodin walks over to you, Orpheus.
But I want to change. I was like, oh hey cousin, sorry, that's my bad. So have you seen?
Are these your friends?
Yeah, they are my friend. But I think we I lost
Ah,
one.
party! Let's have a party today. We need to go to the tavern. Drinks on me. We're having a party today.
That
It's been
sound.
so boring. I'm so happy.
Did
to
you
be
say
in
drinks? Me want drinks. Me take cake.
We're having drinks today. What's your
Yeah.
name, sir?
I'm Kahir.
Mr. Tribesman, I'm sorry I was rude to you. We've been having some sightings up north. Some really strange shit going down. Mr. Knight from Rose Garden Kingdom. I didn't get your name as well. And let me roll a perception check to see if he could see you, Thorin. So I think you're hiding in the trees currently, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I kind of stepped off to the side. I'm just staring towards Kahir, like trying to avoid eye contact.
Yeah, he doesn't see you behind the tree.
So I'll say, hey cousin Roden. I think we lost one person. One of my friend, he with the really long ear. He like tall, a little bit rude. But we got lost. Have you and your I guess friend see him anywhere in the town?
Yeah, we'll go. I'll give you guys a tour. For those of you that have never been here before, welcome to Bayville. Kahir, roll me a history check. And I'm gonna bring you guys over to the.
He was kicking me, by the way.
Yeah, you know where Bayville is. You back in, Wraith?
I'll send him the link on Discord.
Okay.
You got
What's
disconnected
it kicking him from?
the,
The video or from Roll20?
Every
No,
time
it's-
every time it comes in, it kicks me. Alright, I'm in now.
Okay.
Nope, kicked me again. Says it's already in use.
Hold on, let me
Roll
get
20
the
or
link.
the video.
Video. I'm finding roll 20. I'm just not in the video.
Try this link. Try the second one I just sent you.
So as he kind of addresses him, and Kahir announces who he is, and he kind of looks around and kind of gets his bearings. He looks over at Thurin and sees that he's kind of like keeping
Well, give
his
me
eyes
a
away from.
perception check to see if you can see him. He's actively trying to hide. Radix, give me a stealth check as well.
Oh, never mind.
That's a three.
So that's a 7 because you're in heavy armor, by the way. So here you don't see Thorin. Thorin, were you actively trying to hide from the party or just the guard?
Just the guard.
You could do something like maybe if you take out your sword and kind of turn the light to here to give him like a signal that you're behind the tree. You can do so, or maybe just flash a gauntlet or something.
Wait, what just happened?
I take out one of my drinks and I'm kind of like shimming it around, trying to, still keep avoiding the guards' attention, but just make sure my party knows where I'm at.
So he kind of sees just a wiggle of the potion and gets
It's
his bearings
little.
on where
Yeah,
Thurin
water
is.
skin or a potion or whatever he's drinking at the moment. Correct.
And he kind of like motions for him to like stay close to behind him, and like Kahir's gonna broaden himself and like present himself as a barrier, so Thurin has a place to like kind of hide behind and duck behind and stay out of view as the guard mentions about taking on a tour.
Okay. So the guard continues. He says, for those of you that have never been here before, welcome to Bayville. Mr. Tribesman, I don't know if you've been here before, but I'm sure you know where this is. We're in the Kingdom of Gillahem, to the south westernmost region. Everyone can see the world map at the moment, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
All right,
Yep.
so where I'm pinging, I've also inputted a little thing here, so it has a token. Do you guys see the name Bayville here?
No.
I can see the pin, but not the name.
Yeah. I think I did it on purpose, so that you guys can see it. Token layer. There we go. Now you guys should see
There
it.
it is. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
Okay. So this is where you guys currently are. The guard continues. Says we've been having attacks from the north. Some strange creatures have been coming out of the mines to the north. Here, you also remember that this particular village is a mining village, mining and farming village. They provide a lot of the metals, the precious metals that the Kingdom of Gillahem uses in order to craft their weapons, their armor. They're reinforcing their castle walls. Anything that requires metals usually comes from Bayville. And to hear that there's been attacks in Bayville and disruptions to these supply lines is pretty detrimental to the Kingdom of Gillahem because of this. So you're aware that this is big trouble, at least for this particular human kingdom. It may even sway the war between the two kingdoms. He goes on to say, yeah, things are not so great here. Attacks. We've had raids of really weird creatures. Who got hurt on the fall?
Kahir
Traherne and
kind of like
He
plucks a
looks
couple
you-
of carrots out of his back that
Yeah.
got stuck up from the fall. Like, ugh, oh, that one stung.
Yeah, he looks you up and down, and gestures to you to come closer so he could take a look at your wounds. He inspects you and he informs you, not really whispering, but kind of like turns his head to you and kind of like comes closer to your ear and says, "We have a doctor in town if you want someone to attend to those wounds." She's actually really nice. She pretty much is in charge here now. Again, a lot of the people that were in charge in the north, unfortunately, have perished in the raids. So she's kind of taken up like the mayor position in this town.
So I must speak to him. I was like, "Hey, cuz.
He gives you guys a name too, Dr. Camille.
So we.
Is she pretty?
Hey, cuz.
He
We
winks at
actually. I winked back at him. I was like, Long time no see, eh? But we've actually been travel for a long time, and we don't have any money. I don't think we can afford a doctor. Can you hook us up?
Deception check. Because I'm
He
pretty
tried
sure
by me.
you're not poor. Are you poor, Tofu? Does your character have any money on his character sheet?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, give me a deception check to see if you can get a free room, apparently, or
Well,
free healthcare.
not for your cousin.
I mean, if you're actively trying to lie to someone, just because they're friendly to you doesn't mean that they're not going to insight check you or see if you're lying to them. He turns to you and says, "Cousin, we're poor as it is. You want us to give the last scraps of food and medicine under the table?"
I'm just kidding. I have money.
Okay. Anyway, you need some medical attention. Everyone else, I promised a free drink and a tour of the town. Let's take a tour.
Um,
You guys following? He's
Yep.
already
Yeah,
walking off.
hold on. I'm gonna go over to Thorin and I whisper to him. I was like, as far he know, you got my friend and he's my cousin. So, just act natural.
All right.
Can we switch
Before
to
we start
Traherne while you
the-
guys are starting
Yeah,
the
Hello.
trip?
Yeah, before
Wait.
we start the
Well, I didn't get to interject the
Oh,
whole
hang on.
time. I've been
Hang
being
on,
patient.
I'm not moving that direction. My roll 20 is bugged, and I'm literally dragging to the right, and my character's moving left. Hang on, let me refresh this website.
I wanted to
There we
do
go.
a perception check on what or is it an Arcana check to see what Orpheus had done.
It will be a Arcana check, I think.
Sorry, what was the
why
question?
That's why I asked the DM.
What's the question?
Oh, I wanted to I was trying to interject, but I didn't want to overflow over things. But I wanted to do a check to see if I had seen what Orpheus did.
Arcana check. Do you have the spell detect magic, by the way?
No.
Okay. So when something magical is happening, you guys can always do an Arcana check to see if you can work out what's going on. In order to understand what exact spells are going off, you would need something like detect magic or anything in those realms that will give you specifics. But I'm very, very open with doing Arcana checks, perception checks, history checks to see if you guys can work things out. So go for it. Roll me an Arcana check.
Checking my other stuff to see if there's anything I had.
Orpheus definitely whispered something, did something with his hand, and this guy's automatically like, "You're my best friend. Hi." So yeah, you can pretty much discern that he definitely casted something. What exactly? Again, without the detect magic spell, you wouldn't be able to tell. But he definitely casted something. And again, you're pretty new to magic. I think you've just awakened some of your powers. So yeah, he definitely did something. Before we go on the tour, two things. First, let's scroll back up and flip the camera back to Traherne. Traherne, what are you up to?
All right, so while all of these shenanigans are going on down south that I have no idea about, I see, I saw the smoke. I smelled the
You smelled
coffee.
the coffee.
Yeah, I could see the tree line. So as I'm walking towards the tree line, I take a hard cut towards the coffee. I'm not really saying anything at this point in time because no
Coming
one's
from
around
this
me.
direction. This
Okay.
M building here.
Yeah. Am I supposed to understand what M, C, and T are at this point, or is that unidentified? at the
Yeah,
moment?
that's kind of why Rodin's given the group a tour at the moment.
Okay. Okay.
If you want to join
So-
the group, he seems pretty friendly to them, but again, you don't know that.
Yeah, but I also don't know that's all going on that far south, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going for coffee. So
Okay.
I'm gonna start creeping around this back wall here.
Give me a perception check to see if you
Okay.
see this guard and can discern what race or where you are.
Yeah.
Because now you're in the line of sight of him.
Which guard? This one over here. on the-
This one right here.
Okay.
Because you're kind of like behind. I guess you're like ducking down.
I'm hunched
and sneaking
down.
along. Yeah,
Right.
Yes, you can see no pointed ears. You can't see like the skin color or anything like that, but definitely looking at the helmet to see if anything's pointing out. While he's turned, like if his back is turned to you, you don't see any pointed ears. Could be anything,
Okay.
but definitely not elf. You know, elves
Right.
don't like to cover their ears
Okay.
unless they have to.
Okay. Can I pick up one of these rocks on the ground and chuck it over the building to kind of draw his attention opposite of my direction?
Roll me a sleight of hand. You have to beat a 15 in order to reach all the way over here.
Damn.
Where are you trying to throw it?
It's like over the top of the building, kind of to the north, so that he's going to be looking
here?
more north away from me. Yeah, like that, kind of that direction.
Okay, again, like Metal Gear Solid, he says, "Oh, what was that?" And takes a step around the building.
Okay. All right. So I continue to kind of creep around this wall very quickly, and I run to these little bushes here. And I start peeking into this window of this building looking for coffee. And I just want to check around and see what I see. So do I need another perception or?
You definitely know where the coffee's coming from. It's coming from this direction.
Okay.
Right here.
Do I see?
You know that
All
it's this building right here.
Okay.
Do give me another perception check if you want to try and look around and see if you can see your friends or your party. You're a little bit closer now to this guard. If you want to try and peer around the corner, you can.
Do
you want to peer around the corner, or are you going straight for the coffee?
I'm going straight for the coffee.
All right. You do not see the party down here. It's a little bit too far away to see.
Okay.
If you wanted to peek around the corner, you can see this guy, but again, if you don't want to be noticed, you probably have to roll a stealth check here.
I'm completely entranced by the smell of coffee, so I don't really pay too much attention down here, but I am hidden in the bushes. Yep, that's what I'm planning to do.
And you can definitely tell with your perception check that there's no one in this immediate area that would notice you.
Okay, and I peek around the corner here, and that guy's still looking away.
Yes, he picked up the rock and is looking to the north now, thinking that something came from the north, because that's where everything's been coming from recently.
Okay, all right. So
you can go over to that building if you like. It looks pretty clear.
Do I notice any windows around this building, or only this door?
Yes. Nope, definitely windows, a door. You could see a small shopkeep owner inside, human. No pointed ears. Again, human based on the definition of being able to see Orpheus and knowing that he's a human. You haven't seen what Valence looks like because he's fully armored, but based on Orpheus and Kahir, you kind of taken notice of what a human looks like. No pointed ears, but ugly elf. There's definitely an ugly elf in there. No pointed ears. Older, gray hair, kind of hunchback a little bit. He's picking up a pot of coffee and putting it down by the window to let it cool off because it's way too hot. They don't have modern coffee machines like we have in today's age, right? So he's got like a furnace. He's got a steel cast iron pot with the coffee inside of it, and he placed it right by the window to let it cool off, and turns it back to move some things around, keep up the shop.
What wall is the window on?
Coming also from the north.
Okay. All right. Is the window open? I'm assuming it is if he's pulling it down.
Yep.
All right. So while he turns his back, I'm gonna steal the coffee pot.
You're gonna touch the hot coffee pot?
Oh,
it is definitely
handle?
steaming.
There's no
it's
handle.
Definitely steaming. The handle is on the inside, so you'd have to kind of reach your hand in, go around to the handle, and kind of like pull it up. So it's like
a hand.
Yeah, the handle's like towards the south. Windows on the north. So if you reached in, you'd have to reach around the pot to pull it up. But yeah, you can try. You want to roll me a sleight of hand?
I'm gonna reach around and grab the handle, and I'll take the. What do I need to roll?
Give me another sleight of hand. 18.
Make sure you take up your 6 damage.
We are seeing Traherne place his hand into the window, grabs the handle slowly, begins to lift it up, and that's where we're going to go to our first break.
Oh my god.
All right.
Oh my god.
Dang it.
Oh no.
All right, I'll send it over to break. All right, we're back. Good to go.
All right, welcome back, players. Hope everyone had a good break.
Oh,
Jumping back into where we left off. Traherne stand in the window, grasping a cast iron pot of coffee. He lifted it up and slowly brings it out the window. As it comes out of the window, you hear. Traherne, you successfully have a pot of coffee in your hands. What would you like to do?
Get the hell out of Dodge. So I'm going to very quickly tiptoe around this building. I'm assuming, is there any windows in the front? Or just the door?
Yes, but as you peer in very quickly, again the old man is turned and walking towards the back of the room, to the east.
Okay. Can I do a perception check as I'm coming to here to see, like, does this guy have line of sight? Like, I'm trying to see if he can see this direction, or if I can make it to this cart without being seen. Is that right? Perception check?
Yeah, roll me a perception check. I'm also going to roll perception checks because we have
Line of sight.
two parties in the center that can possibly see you at this moment.
Oh no.
oh no.
Buddy.
Traherne rolled a 9, by the way.
15 and a 19. Roll me what was your? Did you roll a stealth check before?
No, just this perception.
Roll me a stealth check to see if you're quiet. No, you're not.
I got my coffee.
He's giggling
Okay.
the whole way. Just
All right. So what happens?
As you're, I guess, ducking behind this cart, the pot kind of tings off of the wheel and makes a ping sound.
Okay.
Dr. Camille, in the center of the map, which the rest of the party knows her name, and the patrolmen are currently conversing. It sounds like Dr. Camille's mad about something about patrolmen to the north not being in his post. They don't seem to have recognized that you're there, but it doesn't seem like it seems like Dr. Camille has her back turned, and this patrolman's kind of worried about what Dr. Camille's saying at the moment.
Okay. So I'm going to continue to creep very low profile over this way into these. I'm assuming these are bushes over here.
Ever yonder.
As
Yes,
you're
I'm gonna-
creeping up,
yep.
we're going to pan our camera back to the group.
Okay.
As we pan back to the group, you hear Patrolman Rodin just basically saying, "Welcome, guys. To our left, we have our tavern, the Manticore's Tail, best tavern in town. Currently the only tavern in town, but still by far the best tavern in town. To the right, you'll see the Church of... Give me 1 second. Church of Lifa. To the north, and he peers around the corner, sees Dr. Camille's kind of upset about something, gets a little nervous. He says, "Oh, that's Dr. Camille, by the way. If you guys need some bandages or medical treatment, I think I have to go. She looks kind of pissed. She's really scary. I'm gonna go back to my post, but you guys are welcome here." He hands Orpheus a little rod, maybe the size of a key. On the rod, it has a insignia of a B, as in boy.
Oh.
At the top of it, it looks like almost like a blank key. At the top of the key, where usually it's like a handle, it has a B on it, and to the bottom there's just nothing, just a straight cylindrical, again like a blank key. And he says to you, if anyone asks why you're in this town, you're my cousin. It's like a key to the town. with this, people won't question why you're here. You're visiting because your family lives here. It's just basically a token to make sure that you're not an intruder here. And he runs off to his post.
So I hold the
Before
key.
he goes, he says, "Oh, by the way, church to the right, doctor's office to the north, market to the northeast. If you guys need any supplies, go see Old Man Tally. He'll take care of anything that you need. Bye, guys."
Thank you.
And he
He
just
says
gone.
"guys" almost like Orpheus does, by the way.
Yeah. And
Hey,
I'm holding the
guys. Hey,
key.
guys.
And I'm holding the key, and I said, and just like that, he's gone. So like I look around, and then I sort of showing up my key. I was like
gonna-
proud.
Your way down.
I'm gonna look to Orpheus and be like, and I'm gonna ask him. So tell me what you did.
I just whisper in his ear. He just think that I'm his cousin. Believe it, that was my.
Hold on. Sorry. Orpheus, roll me a deception check. Valens, roll me an insight check.
That throws off my next thing I was gonna do. Because I was gonna intimidate.
You can still. He seems kind of sincere. I mean, it's quite possible he did whisper to him, right? You saw him kind of say something.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up. I'm gonna kind of stand more imposing in front of Orpheus. I'm like, you will tell me what you did. And I'll roll intimidation for that.
Orpheus, do you want to? Let's see. What can be? For intimidation. Give me 1 second. Let me take a look at your character sheet. Because I think you have something about not being intimidated, but something in regards to that. Oh no, you have advantage on intimidation if you're intimidating, right, Orpheus? If you use your background.
Where do you see that?
So you have something called Sanguine One Red Eyes.
Yeah, that's one.
Do you want to use
think-
your red eyes to kind of like show Valence that you're not really to be messed with?
Yeah, I'll use that. Cause I haven't
All
used
right,
it
so
yet.
give me a contested intimidation check
But I have
with
advantage,
advantage
right?
for using your red eyes.
Yeah.
And then tell the party how it looks when you turn it on, so to say.
How do I roll with advantage? Just roll it? Oh, I just click it, right?
Yeah, so you just roll intimidation and you take the higher number.
Oh, I think I just... Okay. Intimidation. Where's it at? Oh.
Tell everyone how this looks as you're trying to kind of look up at Balance, and as he's basically looking down at you and kind of I don't know, in a intimidating pose.
So I'm short, right? How tall are you, Valen?
I'm 6'1", I think.
So I just look up like this, and then you see like my eye glow red a little bit, and then I guess I fell, right?
Do you want me to share the handout that we discussed?
No, that's for I didn't transform yet. So
belt, right? Okay. Just your red eyes.
So I just look up. My eye turned red a little bit, and then nothing happened. I sort of just blink at him, and then nothing happened, and then so I had to tell him
You feel a sense of threatening. Not like he's gonna hurt you, but he really. You feel like you should probably tell him at this point, just so that you can kind of keep the party together, rather than fighting.
So I just blink at him. I blink multiple times, and I say, "It's just a jump. It's just a jump. Smell."
So Thurin's kind of looking off and seeing Orpheus and Valence having this little bickering, seeing Valence like attempting to intimidate Orpheus. I want to roll a perception check to see if there's any like jewelry or anything that I notice on Valence's head that I can focus on for something.
jewelry on Valence's head.
Like if he's wearing any earrings or if he has any like necklace or anything. Nearby.
Valence. So you can give me a perception or investigation check, but Valence, it's going to be with disadvantage. Valence is, even though he's wearing full armor, he's actually wrapped up underneath his armor with bandages. I think he explained that to you guys when he described his character when he arrived on the island. So perception check again with disadvantage is an 8. You can't really see anything under his armor. Again, you see the bandages, kind of. And I guess there's like a slit for his eyes, but you can't really notice any jewelry or anything underneath those bandages.
Thurn's actually staring at Valens and notices that he's kind of picking on Orifice and really like pushing at him. So he grabs his sword and starts murmuring under his breath and casts a spell of where'd it go? Where's my cantrips? Of Thaumaturge, mimicking the voice that they all heard of the god of death, Caro, and kind of whispering in his ear, "Don't forget who is friend or foe. You should be working with your allies, not picking fights on them."
All right, what's the
And I
counter
want
check
that-
for that, Danger?
And I want that sound coming from like the back of his cloak, from like right behind him.
What's the counter for that? DC 12
It's
is
a
all I
decent
gotta make.
save.
It's not like it's a, yeah. So read off the spell so that everyone in chat knows what it is.
So Thaumaturgy is one of my cantrips. You manifest a minor wonder, assign a supernatural power within range. You create one of the following magical effects within range. Your voice booms up to 3 times as loud as normal for a minute. You can cause flames to flicker, brighten, or dim, or change color for a minute. You can also cause harmless tremors in the ground for a minute. You can cause instantaneous sounds that originates from a point of your choice within range, such as a rumble of thunder, a cry of a raven, or an ominous whisper. Your instantaneous cause, you can instantaneously cause an unlocked door or window to fly open or slam shut. You alter the appearance of your eyes for a minute. If you cast a spell multiple times, you can have up to 3 of these in effect at a time within a minute.
Wow.
And what's the
That's
DC
OP.
save on it? What am I
So
rolling?
the DC is 12 intelligence.
12 intelligence? Okay.
It sounds like the god of death is you said behind him.
Yeah, see, that doesn't mean anything to me, though, because I haven't pledged anything to him.
But he did touch you. You're almost dead, though.
Yeah, you see the flash. You get a flash of remembering the index finger that touched your forehead and kicked the shit out of you almost instantly, almost one hit KO. That flashes through your mind as you hear the voice of Pyro behind you. Kind of gives you the chills almost. Like, oof. You just think back to that moment. Again, you guys can RP it out.
So I just do I hear what Thorin said, or no? Is it just Valence?
Pretty. How loud was it?
It's a pretty soft whisper coming directly from his cloak. So like, or Valence would be able to hear it because it's literally coming from a piece of armor that's attached to him, but no one else really can hear it unless they're like right next to him.
Well, Orpheus is. They're pretty much
Yeah.
like face to face almost. Orpheus, you want to roll a perception check to see if you heard it?
Alright.
Also, I'm sticking strong to my intimidate, so I don't care.
But I already told you what it is. Let's see.
He did tell you.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
didn't
hear it, do
it.
I? Okay.
No.
So
You would have had to beat that 12.
So I don't know what's going on, but I'm still holding the key, and then I just like saw try to avoid the situation. I turn around and then I talked to Kahir. I was like, you say you got hurt, right?
Yeah. Put this all away. Let's go see pretty doctor lady.
Yeah. So
Nina feels so good.
I just like turned around and then just started walking, like nobody business. I just started walking. I was like, okay, let's go.
For her, and roll me another stealth check, as Dr. Camille's currently in your line of sight as she was just coming back from the north. I'll tell you what you have to beat. You have to beat a 9. Oh,
Just
still,
makes
still
it.
hidden from her perception check of 9. She doesn't notice you in the bush. Orpheus, as you turn the corner, you roll a perception check to see if you see Turn. And is everyone else following?
Yep.
Ooh.
I'm standing
Orpheus,
nice
you
and close to
definitely see
Kashir.
something moving around the bushes. And you see a set of elf ears popping out of it.
So so I see. So the doctor see me though when I walk over here? She saw me, right?
Yeah, she sees all of you guys as you approach. She doesn't look like she's mad at you guys or anything like that. Orpheus, you have the key out in your hand.
Yeah. So I'm still holding the key in my hand, and then I'm just say, "Hey doctor, hey doc, can you give us some help over here?" And then
As she
yeah.
turns to look at you, she sees Balance approaching. Takes note of Balance and recognizes your sigils on your armor. She addresses you cordially and says, "Knight of Rose Garden, huh?
Indeed.
Actually glad to see some of your stature in this village. My name is Dr. Camille. Welcome."
Thank you. We have one of our colleagues here who's been injured. Would you be able to assist him?
She nods, looks over, tries to see which one was injured. She definitely notices Kahir's injured. She's a pretty good doctor. Says, absolutely. I do have a couple of requests for you as well. But let's head into my office and we can discuss. There's been
Of
some
course.
strange things that I would like to make you aware of.
So
course.
as you guys
And
do that.
she motions to all of you guys to follow.
Do I hear any
You
of
guys-
this going
you
on
guys-
or see?
I'm this
Yeah,
close.
Turn,
Do we
you're-
see him?
Yeah, you guys can roll
Perception
perception checks if you want to see him. And I'm gonna just quickly measure out this. What was I
This-
gonna measure out?
I mean, his stealth roll was what, a 9?
Yeah, you guys
10.
got to be at 9. Or his stealth
The
was a 10.
distance to him.
It was
So-
his stealth roll is basically based on your perception. So, Valence, you see him. Thorin, you see him. Orpheus, you see him. Here, you don't.
So as
Here, you're
I
probably more interested in Dr. Camille at the moment, and you're
Yep, I'm looking at the pretty lady.
getting some nice
Ooh.
healings from the pretty lady.
as I hear everything going on, I believe I have a water skin in my items. Does that mean I start with water, or is it just an empty sack at this point?
No, you had a full water skin. Nobody has taken a break or a rest to deplete any of their supplies at the moment.
Okay. I'm just
However,
gonna-
you do have a pot of coffee in your hand. What are you doing with the coffee?
Right. So I hear like the commotion,
also-
and at
Like it cold.
Yeah, I want to also remind you, you have something called an herbalism kit, which does have empty vials in it.
okay. All right. So, we'll do that instead. So I'll take my herbalism kit out and I grab a vial. Or how big are these vials? Just somewhere like, are they tiny or are they big?
Some are big, like for a bottle of potion. Some are small, if you like mixing two substances together.
Okay.
Also, everyone roll me investigation checks for those of you that noticed Turn, to see if you smell the coffee coming from that direction.
6.
Orpheus? And I'm gonna roll a d20 to see how strong this coffee is. Ten. So 10. Yeah. Valence and just Valence.
Thurin.
So and roll
Oh, no,
6.
he-
Roll
Thurin,
a
You guys,
six.
Yeah, he rolled
So,
a
yeah.
6.
Valence, you smell the coffee. You recognize the coffee as being coffee that it's not foreign. It's coffee usually comes from one place and it's shipped out across the continents.
Mhm.
Smells pretty strong. Everyone
So-
else, you're not sure what he's doing in the bush.
So I'm in the bush. I hear all this going on. I frantically grab my herbalism kit. I grab the largest vial, and at this point, the coffee has cooled down a little bit. It's not like scalding. It's not going to burn me or anything like that.
Yeah, it's
And I
been
take
some
a
time at
quick,
the moment.
yeah, I take a quick sip of it, and then I dump out the contents out of my herbalism, like one of the larger vials, and pour. It's like messy, but like coffee's just falling all over the place. But I'm able to fill up one
You
vial.
can dip the vial in.
No,
rather than pouring it in.
I just try to pour it, and
Alright, go for it.
it fills up one
Give me
vial.
a sleight
I'm
of
like
hand.
frantic. Yeah.
Give me a sleight of
Alright.
hand to see how much you fill up the flask with. It's about a quarter of the way, not the flask, the vial. You got
Okay.
about a quarter of it in, the rest of it you spilled out.
All right, perfect. And I cap it really quick, and I put it in my bag, and I start to stand up as they get close.
You
to
have
me.
about half of the coffee left in the pot. You wasted about half of it.
Oh, so it's not all gone. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood.
It was a pretty big
Okay.
pot. It was like, it looked
Okay.
like he was
Well,
making
I-
it possibly for like Dr. Camille, the patrolmen's. You know, it looks like it wasn't just for him. It was probably for a couple people.
Okay, I realize that I don't have time to grab out another vial and pour it again. So I just, as right before I stand up, I just take it and just chug the rest of the coffee and drop the pot in the bush. And then I stand up and I'm like, "Hey guys."
Okay. Roll me. And as everyone is walking over to the clinic, is that what we decided on? Everyone's coming over with Dr. Camille to the clinic.
I am.
That's
I
right,
was walking over to Jahan, by the way.
For Hearn, roll me a Constitution saving throw to see how hyper you are with that much coffee. It's pretty strong
Uh-huh.
coffee. Oh shit! You're super fucking hyper now. Like, remember you were like reserved and quiet. You are so hyper right now.
You're a straight up squirrel.
Hyped up on coffee at the moment. As
Like,
Morpheus is walking
Tweaking
over to
out a little bit. Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
please shapeshift to a squirrel.
It's the over the hedge squirrel.
My head's kind of jerking. My hands are shaking. I kind of got this weird eye twitch going on.
you. Twitch. You drop the pot and it makes a loud noise. Dr. Camille notices you hide in the bush. Do you
Oh,
say anything to
no.
her?
That was already
No,
there.
I'm just standing
She's
there.
just peering over.
Yeah, I just kind of
giving you
scratch my
kind of
head.
a weird look.
Just kind of scratching my head.
She turns to balance. Part of your party or intruder?
Yeah. Yes.
She
yes.
goes to grab her sword. Okay. She resheaths her sword.
So I look at Jahan. I say, "Hey, long ear guy, are you okay? Or are you hurt?"
I'm fine. Where are we?
We need a medic over here. I turn over.
In the clinic now. She's being extremely stern at this moment. It seems like, again, you heard from one of the patrolmen that she's kind of like in charge here at the moment. She's being very stern to you guys.
So I wait Jahan to come over, and then I guess we start working with you guys. Go to the clinic.
Everyone going in?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to delete cameraman because we don't need him. Balance goes in, and I'll drag the rest of you guys in.
That's a big clinic.
Do I have everyone? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Inside the clinic, you guys walk in. You guys walk through a long hallway to the south. I'll bring you guys over so you can see where you guys walk through. So you came in from this front door here. It's kind of like a circular door. Didn't look exactly like it was on the map, but there was kind of a circular door that kind of, instead of opening, it turns almost like a turnstile to reveal like an opening, and then turns back, almost like a hospital door. You know, the turning revolving doors, but made out of wood. She pushes it and allows you guys to walk in. She brings you directly forward into the actual medical part of the clinic. You guys can see a bunch of tables with some utensils, tools, a little bit of stools. Looks like this is where she does like maybe minor cuts or minor injuries. She points over to the right and says, if anyone is seriously hurt, you can go up to the right-hand side, up the stairs. There'll be a bed. You can sit on the bed. If anyone just has a bump or a scrape, take a seat anywhere, and I'll come in and attend to your wounds. However, before you guys head off, there is some news that I'd like to share with you all. Being that we have a knight from the Rose Garden Kingdom, I can only assume that you guys are trusted individuals. I know that the kingdom to the Eastern Hemisphere is a good kingdom, not part of this senseless fighting. And she kind of furrows her brow. But there's some more pressing matters close to home here. We've been seeing a lot of strange things happening in this village. I'm gonna lower the music a little bit so that we can hear what she says. She explains to the party, again, some sightings, some things that have been happening. She says the northern part of the village has been destroyed. We don't know why or what these creatures are. It seems they've been coming from our mines to the north. They came from the mines down south through our northern part of our main village. We had close to 1,000, maybe 2,000 people in our village. We're down to 30. So we've lost a lot of lives here. And although we are happy to have travelers come into our village, I do want to warn you ahead of time. There's a lot of strange stuff going on here. If you guys are to stay, please be respectful to the guards. Be respectful to the village people here. We don't have much, but whatever we can offer you, we will. We're not going to turn a blind eye to anyone in need. And as she says that, she ushers here or anyone else to please take a step in if you would like your injuries checked out. And she takes a step forward. She ushers to the left if you don't have too bad of injuries. She ushers to the right if you have some severe cuts, bruising, broken bones. So whoever took a serious fall will probably go up to the right and can go up the stairs to a bed, or to the left. There's beds on each side.
Which ones are which way? I'm sorry.
So top left and top right up the stairs are beds for anyone who is seriously hurt. If you have any minor injuries, you can stay down here and sit at one of the tables, and she'll address any minor injuries you may have. She says if anyone doesn't have any injuries and you just want to hang around, just please don't leave the office area. She does want to address you guys all once the wounds have been treated.
So I'm just following Thorin because I remember he offered to heal the old man. So I just follow him because I think he know about these stuff. And I ask, hey, do you know any of these?
I'm looking around and everything just looks, I have no idea where you are, and everything, like even the architecture just looks so foreign to me.
I was like, no, the vial. Do you know any of these?
Which files?
This one
So
over here.
spread
The
across
vials?
all of the tables and stuff is just medical supplies. Some have vials. It looks like possibly a Bunsen burner on one end, empty vials, maybe one or two with possibly some red substance. Could be blood, could be something else.
You say blood?
I mean, if you want to inspect the vials, do a.
I'd like to
you can do
I'd inspect the vials just to
investigation.
see what is there.
I'm
Investigation
just
Kind of
check.
walk around the tables, looking
Yeah.
at
I'm ju-
everything.
yeah.
You
I'm
two
just
can roll
gonna
me an
hold
investigation check.
I'm just gonna hold the
18.
red vial up. Yeah. Oh no.
Orpheus,
I know, please.
looks like blood. Thorin, definitely not blood. You smell it. It actually has a flavor smell to it. Could be berries, something crushed up, maybe to hide the taste of medicine, make it easier to take.
So I hold it up to the Thorin because I hold the red vial up. I was like, doesn't it look like blood to you?
I don't think it's blood. I'm smelling something like fruity coming off of it.
I want to taste it. Should I? Should I taste it?
Dr. Camille looks over to you.
And I put it behind my
let me-
back.
Let me roll. She definitely saw you guys pick it up and like talk about it. She doesn't seem too bothered by it. She just says to you, Orpheus, she says the pointy-eared guy there is correct. It's just some crushed up berries. We use that to mask the taste of, harsh medicines, things that don't taste very well, to avoid people from throwing up and getting rid of the medicine that I just worked on very, very hard with, crushing up, herbs and things that don't taste very well.
And you see Orpheus.
You could taste it.
face-
It tastes pretty good if you like.
But you see, when she say that, you see Orpheus face a little bit disappointed, and then he just put that back down, and then just started walking away.
Out of the
She
curiosity
does
of my character.
usher to you and say, please, don't touch anything you don't need to. Again, we don't have much here. Please try not to break anything.
My character kind of more approaches the doctor, is just very curious about the medicines and what kind of medicine is in these vials.
Again, just crushed up herbs. You asking the question to her?
Yeah, directly to her.
Yep. She walks over very quickly. She says, I'll answer your question, but I do want to attend to your companions. They seem to be quite injured. Again, these are just crushed up herbs. You can inspect them if you like, or I don't know if you're practicing in medicine. I would assume if you were, you might be able to take care of their injuries yourself. But if you were practicing in medicine and you'd like some samples, I can provide you with some samples. If you have an herbalist or know of an herbalist that can make medicines or potions, I can spare some ingredients, but I don't have much. She seems. If you want to roll an insight to see if she's lying to you, you can. She's being quite honest with you. She doesn't seem like she's trying to pull anything on you. She's been pretty open with you guys already.
As someone that is a healer, I would definitely anything that you can help. Any kind of recipe, I would be grateful for. I
You
want to
nod
take your
your head,
materials. Just
and
the recipe.
she says, "I'll speak to you after I treat your friends, and if you're dabbling or practicing in medicine, we can have a quick discussion, and I can share maybe something. We'll see." And she rushes over. She looks at Balance and Orpheus really quick to see if they need anything before she moves up. She definitely nods towards Balance to kind of give a hint that she definitely wants to speak to him before he goes anywhere.
I'm behind Valence, and I just poke my head out, and my hand I just wave at her. I was like, hey.
Valance, you have Orpheus behind you. Are you still pissed at him?
Yeah. I
So
don't want him behind me.
So
yeah.
I
So I mean, are you standing stern? Are you giving him a look? Like, what are you doing to portray this to Orpheus? Because at the moment he's kind of hiding behind you. He just got caught by Camille trying to drink some blood.
While this is all happening down there, I look over at Kahir, and I'm like, "You look fucked up, brother."
We got some
Before
turrets
I
in the rear. Me hurt.
yeah, before I pan over to our other two party members, Valance, anything you want to say or do to portray your distaste with Orpheus at the moment, or you're just staying silent, staying stern?
I'm just gonna stay stern. I'm gonna move over and lean against this table.
and I move over next to him.
All right, joining our other party members as those two shift sides back and forth. You guys see to a little bit up the stairs, you could see a figure up here at the top of the stairs. Older man, not quite as old as the shopkeep, but definitely grayed. Has a gray beard, and in one hand he's holding a pipe. He's not smoking it here, out of respect for the doctor, it seems. but he's definitely holding a pipe as if he's going to go outside maybe and have a smoke. Nods to you both. Kind of looks at you weird a little bit, Traherne. Probably because of your ears
Twitching.
and you're twitching. Yeah. But I mean, you're in a doctor's clinic. Maybe something happened to you. I don't know. He's not quite sure. Doesn't really think too much on it, and again nods and tries to walk past you guys. As he's walking past, welcome travelers. You new to this village. My name is Pilth. Most people just call me Old Man.
Hi. How are you?
Good to see you, elder man.
Much better now that I've seen Dr. Camille. She does wonders. We've been very fortunate to have someone like her in the village for many years. Definitely shaped up this old man as he walks past. He turns back as he's leaving. You guys should come by the tavern. I'll probably be over there enjoying a drink or two. Not much to do in this town. Maybe you're looking for some work or some information. Probably the best spot to go.
Do they have coffee?
Yes. Best
I will
coffee
be
in
there.
town. That shit from the marketplace sucks. Don't drink that stuff. It'll give you a stomach ache.
And I just said I'll be there. That's it.
They get that shit to the guards.
So I just sit there. I don't say anything.
He
Save
nods.
me ale. Me
nods.
buy you round.
Absolutely. If you do
I
come
start
to
to
the
hold
tavern,
my stomach a little bit out of concern, but I don't feel anything. But as he walks away,
Not
I'm
yet.
just kind of like,
actually, yeah, no, you don't feel anything. He nods to Kahir and says, if you guys do come to the town, to the tavern, I'm usually in the corner. Try to stay away from people. Some people in this town, they're nice folk, but they can get kind of rowdy. I like to stick to my corner, he says, and he nods to you both and attempts to leave. Do you guys say anything as he's leaving?
Nope, just a silent nod as he passes.
Come see me at the table in the Manticore's tail. Nice meeting you both. Oh, hello, young man. Kind of looks at you again, Orpheus. Same thing. He looks at your ears, but not as protruding as Traherne. Young boy, man.
Hi. What's up?
Are you with?
Yeah,
He
I'm
points
with.
behind.
Yeah, I'm with those widow up there.
You holding the key still, or is it?
Yeah, I'm still
your
holding the
satchel?
key the whole time. By the way, I'm holding the key in my one hand the whole time.
He notices the key. Says, "Oh, do you have family in this town?"
Yeah. My cousin is Roden. Do you know Roden?
Didn't know Rodin had family. I'm pretty sure his family was killed to the north during the invasion.
Yeah. So actually, my dad,
Roll
side.
me a deception check as you're saying this.
Let's see, deception check.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So I said, my dad side, they have there's an aunt, and then the aunt has a husband. The husband has a son. The son has a wife, and then those two marry and got a kid, and the kid has another kid, and that would be Roden.
He looks up to try and see if he could trace this outline of family members. And you said this is your cousin.
Yeah. So my dad has an aunt. That aunt has a husband. They marry and then they got a kid, and then they marry again. They got a kid again, and they marry again. They got a kid, and that would be Roden. We're really close. Used to be like we used to play all the time when we were a kid.
It's some family tracing. You must write a lot if you know that many relatives' lineage. He looks around like, who the hell writes that all down or knows all that?
Thanks. And then I just started back up a little bit.
Keep up with your studies, young man. And he kind of walks away. He obviously sees you two as Dr. Camille is walking past. Nods at Dr. Camille. Sees the shiny armor of Valen's and Thorin with the longsword to his side. Mercenaries?
Not quite.
Let me see if he... Yeah, he doesn't notice anything, your armor, or sigils, or anything like that. He definitely thinks you guys are just mercenary.
I look to Kahir and I say, "This is the slowest triage I've ever experienced."
I mean, she's on her way. I'm just...
I know. I know.
He turns to you guys and says, just no trouble. We've had enough trouble in this town. I expect you guys probably looking for work. Stop by the tavern if you'd like some work. We definitely have a lot of tasks that need attention. He pauses and says attention. Again, you guys have heard multiple times a lot of stuff coming from the north. You could probably put two and two together when he pauses there and says attention. If you guys are interested, come by the tavern. Come see me. I do have some tasks that need addressing. Some unfinished business. If you guys would like possibly some coin, some ale, some rooms. Don't know if you guys have a place to stay, but pass by if you're interested. Gives a nod to you both. And proceeds.
And I just wait.
Dr. Camille finally reaches Kahir and Traherne. Tribesman from Britannia, she says.
Kahir nods.
Yep. Good
Send me
folk.
home.
Not very often we get your kind in the mainland, but we do receive some of your supplies from the south. I know you send some trade routes up and supply our town with some of the things that we've desperately needed. So I appreciate your tribe assisting us in our time of need. I don't know if word has spread this far across the lands, but from what I've been hearing, there's been a lot of attacks almost everywhere. She looks to
Some weird stuff
Traherne as
going
well.
on.
Weird stuff, you say, and she looks directly at Traherne. This one's quite weird himself, huh? What's your name?
My name is Traherne.
Traherne. And you, tribesman?
Me, Kahir.
Nice to meet you both. Traherne, do me a favor. Please take a step over to the other bed on the other end. I like to keep my patients private when I'm treating, in case there's anything that they like to talk about that they don't want shared. And she kind of looks around, kind of expecting you to understand that. Most people, if they're talking to their doctor, they don't want other people listening.
I have no problem being alone.
Yep, she nods to you and thanks you. So Kahir, I could see you have some wounds, some bruising. Where do you mostly have pain as she begins to bandage your leg?
He kind of grips his kidney area and shows off a dent that a carrot made. He says, guess me back mostly. Fell in some carrots. Kind of hard.
She turns slightly. Here, you can definitely tell she's trying to get out of line of sight of anyone peering down from the main hallway. As she turns, there's a wall. So steps, a wall, and then more steps that go up to her main office area. She turns to get out of line of sight of others, and she speaks softly to you. Says, "You believe in the gods, yes?"
You believe Charlotte real? Yes.
Our town worships Lifa, the god of crops and healing. I don't know how to explain, but I've been given a gift, and she puts a hand on your back, where you explained on your kidney area, and you regain 15 HP. As if you want to roll me a Arcana check. Obviously, she's doing some type of magic. You've seen magic being done when the party was on the color aisle. You've seen healing magic.
Yep.
You can definitely tell this is some type of healing magic going on. You're not too familiar with magic in general, but you've seen this exact spell before, which was what was it? It's not a healing word. Cure wounds.
Cure wounds.
Same thing. So any cuts, scrapes, closes up like Wolverine. Any bruising immediately dissipates, and your skin is back to its own complexion. Again, she whispers to you. Again, this is quite strange. I don't even know how I do this myself. Started maybe a month ago. I've been able to wield this gift from the gods.
He kind of
She nods at you.
he starts to stretch and kind of work out the kink of as the muscles relax and the wounds heal, and he like twists his back a little bit with a sharp crack of his bones, and he nods and goes, "Well, you do a very good job. Your skill is as good as your beauty. Your secret is safe with me."
She nods again. Smiles softly. Always liked your kind. Thank you. I'm going to go to see your friend. However, again, I want to address everyone before you leave.
Of course,
You-
we wait
you
for
can-
you with others.
Yeah, she ushers that you can step down and go back to the main lobby. Anyone else
As
doing
she-
anything while she
As
is
she
heading over?
gets up to the top of the stairs, he kind of like leans back over and goes, "Bye, pretty lady."
She nods at you. Traherne, roll me a perception check as he walks in.
Right.
You can see her gripping her hand and looking at it. Almost as if she is in disbelief of her own whatever she was doing. She's very confused and still doesn't quite understand, I guess, what she's doing. When it comes to, I mean, you don't know what happened in the other room, but she seems very confused still and takes a deep breath and composes herself again as she approaches you. And she does the same thing as what I was playing with here. She puts her back to the wall here and asks you what is ailing you. She approaches and says, "Pointed one, Traherne, I believe you said your name was.
Yes, that is my name.
What ails you? What can I do to ease your pain?" As she
So she
also,
sees
again,
me like visibly like kind of like tweaking out and shaking a bit, but I just say I had a fall. We never did talk about my injuries, so I guess you can explain what I can visually see on my body.
Yeah, so a couple of bumps and bruises, scrapes in the knee, which she's currently bandaging. Just like Kahir, but not as serious, I think, right? You had the lower roll. Some bruising to the back, maybe a cracked rib.
Okay.
Definitely hurting
Yeah,
you
so-
breathe.
So I
And she definitely noticed you tweaking out a little bit.
yeah. So I reach across my abdomen and I just say my chest hurts.
Okay. Arcana, as she touches you, you're very familiar with the magics that she's about to try and cast on you. You're gonna do 2 spells. Okay. Being that you know one of them, I believe you know Cure Wounds, right?
Right.
She definitely does Cure Wounds for 8 HP back.
Right.
And the second one you're not familiar with.
Quick question: if that goes above my maximum HP, does that go into temporary hit points or just go to max?
No. You just go to max.
Just go to max. Okay.
The second one. So she, just like you've done, you just touched. She touches you softly as she finishes wrapping your knee. She touches it one last time, and you can definitely tell this spell goes off. However, the second time she stands up and she nods to you and asks you to lean back a little bit. She whispers softly to herself, closes her eyes, and on her left hand, not her right hand, she was using the right hand before, her left hand, her index finger begins to light as she touches your forehead. And the effects of the the caffeine effects, the jitters, the nervousness, the hyperness begins to subside as she, for D&D nerds, she basically removed poison. I forget what the spell was called. Kahir, you probably know better than I do. I don't have a character sheet open.
Your disease.
Oh yeah.
It cures disease, poison, something
Lesser
else.
restore.
Lesser restoration. There you go. So she casts lesser restoration on you. Again, you don't know this spell particularly because you don't know it. But you can definitely tell some type of healing druidic, possibly. That's what you're familiar with. As she is able to wield magic as a human. And again, you saw other humans being able to wield magic, kind of. But yeah.
So I just while she does that. Okay. I'm finished.
She again says to you, same thing as Kahir. I don't know where I obtained this power. I'm not sure if you're a believer of the god Lifa. She would pause it to allow you to respond.
Yeah, I too worship Lifa.
You are not human, are you? She says.
I am not.
Come, I have much to discuss with you and your partner. Do you follow?
I do. And I'm just kind of like reserved. Like as I'm talking to her, I'm only answering the bare minimum intentionally. Just because I'm not a very social person to begin with. But I also am in a very foreign area.
Yeah, she stops on the steps, waiting for you to follow behind.
Okay.
And as you approach, she kind of just tilts her head back to just speak to you very quickly and says, don't tell anyone, meaning about the magic.
Okay.
And she waits for you to either nod or
I give her a nod.
And then she also, again, turns her head to you and whispers, I'm not charging you guys, by the way. I have other matters that need attention. These services are free for you.
As she's walking away, well, I just say thank you to kind of give her a nod. But as she's walking away, I notice that she has long hair. But can I see anything about her, like ears? I know you said she's human, but does she have human ears? Can I see human ears?
She was pretty close up to you. You don't even have to roll anything on it. She is definitely. She doesn't have pointy ears. Her skin complexion is more of a tan. Spending a lot of time out in the day, possibly patrolling. From what you can see, she looks more like a mix of Kahir and Orpheus than the rest of the elves that you come across. I mean, you've come across quite a few in your travels and your heritage. The wood elves, you've come across high elves as well. Again, she looks more like if you took Kahir and put Kahir as a female version, less bulky.
Okay.
She has that same skin complexion almost. again, being from the southern part of this particular world, a lot of sunlight would look very similar. Her eyes are a little bit darker than Kahir's, more of a shade of amber to match her hair.
Okay. And then as we're walking down the steps, going back towards the lobby, I ask her if, did you grow up here?
She nods. I did not grow up here, but most of my lifetime has been spent here. She hesitates for a moment, thinking if she can trust you or not, I guess. She says to you, I was not born here. I was born in Gillihem Kingdom. My family unfortunately ran into some unfortunate events at the kingdom. Did not agree with some of the things that was going on there and moved here. And
I got
I've
a little
lived here
choppy
ever
when you said that. You said she's from where?
Gillihem Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
She didn't like what was going on there. Her family, and when she was a child, moved to this particular village as far away as possible. And that's all she divulged to you at the moment.
Okay. I'm assuming that's probably all the time we have talking down the steps. It's not that big of a room.
Yeah, she kind of ushers you to, let's proceed, as she gets to the middle of the room and asks you all to come close. She speaks to you all and says, "Travelers, my name is Dr. Camille. As you probably have heard at the moment, we've had some dealings with some invasions from unknown creatures to the north. I have taken notice to some of your kind not necessarily being human. However, I don't see or sense any ill will in your intentions here. Although," and she kind of side-eyes Orpheus and continues. She says, "I'd like to show you something." And she begins walking back to the front entrance where the circular door was. Do you all follow?
Yes. With my key in the hand, by the way, in my hand.
He leads you to there was 2 doors to the left and right that were closed. She leads you to the right-hand side of the room, to a double door. She brings out a key and unlocks the door, opens the door, and ushers you all to proceed. Inside the room, she says to you all, "Please don't be alarmed. All of the creatures and beings in here are deceased. I have preserved their bodies to my best ability to try and understand and possibly, I don't know." She tries to explain what these things are, but it seems like she really doesn't know. She's been probably dissecting them, trying to learn their origins. Before you see quite a few different creatures. Those of you from Niflheim will notice larger spiders. Traherne, you're probably familiar with the larger species of spiders. Birds, 3-headed pigs. The center big being here is a species of spider that it lives very predominantly in the Isle of Nocturne, which I believe you would be familiar with, Thorin. I believe you would probably recognize the name of it. I believe they're called tree spiders, but they're very large and colored like leaves, almost like the depiction that's there. have a lot of reddish eyes on their back instead of the front of them, and have also pincers. They attack by dropping down directly from the tree on unsuspecting victims, usually like larger animals, not necessarily elves or humans. You're familiar with these. She also shows the party all different types of bugs, creatures. She points to one in particular and says, "This is the one that's been giving us the most trouble." And ushers over to the corner here, points at so all of these are in glass tubes. Again, she preserved their bodies by draining out the blood, and just like when people
I do
prepare
it.
the dead.
Can I do a check to see if these are things that I actually recognize, or are they not?
Yes. Roll me a history check to see if you remember any of these. You do. You recognize 3.
Okay.
You recognize the larger spider. You recognize the imp. There's a reddish imp. Small in nature, with small bat-like wings, devilish horns. These are things that you've definitely encountered in Death's Desert during your fights with the invasions there. And one other that rings out to you, but you're not sure if you yourself fought it or if it was someone else telling you that you fought it. You spent a lot of time in Death's Desert, so to remember every single creature that you've killed would probably be a hard task for you, especially because you don't know what they are. And the one that you're not too sure of is it's more of like a huge, almost like a big bee with a stinger.
Okay.
Much larger than any bee that you've seen before then. But she's directing attention to a small lizard-like thing. For anyone who's a D&D nerd listening, a kobold.
Kabak?
A kobold, yes. She says, "These are the ones that have been invading constantly. We've had countless fights, wars, battles. These things show up at night, mostly. They don't like the daytime. If you do travel around here at night, please make sure you're armed. These things aren't that strong, but if they gang up on you, it's pretty much over. So don't travel alone at night."
Can I also do a history check because I have traveled to the Isle when I was younger, so I just wanted to see if I'm familiar with the creatures or remember them from the Isle of Nocturne.
Would it be nature check?
Is it history or nature?
You can roll nature. I think you have proficiency in nature.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
You don't recognize the big spider. They're more from the southern part of the Isle of Nocturne, the big green one in the center. But you're definitely familiar with a lot of these creatures. Again, you're probably more of the animal observer, just based on your druid craft. You're very much in touch with nature and its animals and its inhabitants. Out of all of the vials and things here, about 55 to 60% of them you probably could recognize. A lot of them not as harmful as it seems, or she's making it seem. And again, you've observed in the forest where you were living that animals were acting strange. Animals, insects, creatures. Some that are not necessarily vicious have become vicious. So you're quite aware that, yes, something's wrong. Some of these things probably aren't even hostile and shouldn't be attacking anyone.
Can I come over and touch the spider?
So again, it's encased in glass, so that no one can really touch it, or if it was still alive, it couldn't get out. Again, all of these look dead. You can pretty much tell already. Nothing's moving or creeping around. She looks to you again, Orpheus, kind of side-eyed. She says to you, "Please don't break any of the glass. I know these are dead, but some of them smell very bad. and I don't want the customers complaining, or my patients complaining about the smell. She
Yes.
again addresses all of you and says, "This is not necessarily what I wanted to show you as newcomers to this village, but I have a feeling some of you, again, are not human. Have you come from the north?" She refers to Traherne and Thorin.
I come
To be
from.
honest, I'm not sure where we come from in relation to where we're at.
I come from the forest.
He kind of looks at you, and there's forests throughout the world of Terra.
I'm not really sure where I'm at in relative to the forest.
Thorin and Traherne, roll me a history check. You guys remember Gothor speaking about two worlds and how you're both from two separate worlds.
Okay.
If you want to
Can I-
divulge that information or not, that's up to you. I know you guys are kind of playing it safe by not saying you're not from this world. But you guys very much remember what Gothor said in regards to the two different worlds.
No, these are from the desert.
Your companions? She
My companions? Oh, I misheard something.
She looks to you and Balance. Again, she very much trusts your words. Probably weighs them more than the rest of your party. Again, she recognizes your armor and where you're from. Probably the reason why she's even giving you any of this information. She looks to you and says, "Did you give your name to her?"
Have not.
Okay, so she refers to you as Knight of Rose Garden. Sir Knight of Rose Garden. I've heard of the tribulations in the Rose Garden Kingdom with invasions as well. I brought you to this room to show you just that. We've also been dealing with invasions ourselves. Was hoping I can get some information from you on how to combat these creatures. Although I do have one other thing I'd like to show you. She pauses to see if anyone else has anything that they'd like to say before she moves out of the room. You guys didn't really answer her questions. You also wait to hear more from Traherne and Thorin.
So, I look around at some of the creatures that I am familiar with, and I just say these creatures do look familiar from my home in Niflhelm. I don't know how you pronounce it. Niflhelm. Some of
And then
them
I
are
chime
foreign to
in.
me.
And then I'm looking around, I chime in. I don't really think much of these creatures are that hostile.
She penses up at the word Niflheim. She turns to you both and says, "Where, Niflheim? Where is Niflheim?"
So, this is a question. Is it? I'm trying to visualize. Is this a world that's been fractured, like it's across the ocean, or are they two completely different worlds?
No, you guys saw an image of two worlds almost
The two worlds
colliding. They're very
clashing
close together.
Those were the two.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So, I believe it is from a different world from here.
That would explain a lot.
She looks to you both, nods, says to you both, actually to the party, "I'm not surprised. I myself have never seen anything like this. Also, I have something else to show you." As she tries to brush past Valence and Thorin, do you allow her to pass?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. want to make sure you guys aren't gonna hold her hostage or anything. She ushers you to follow her into the main room again, and walks over to the left. She brings you to the leftmost door and asks you to kindly step back, and looks to Valance and says, Sir Knight, you may want to ready yourself just in case.
All right. I pull out
And
my
she-
spear, and it
she pulls out-
extends to like the normal size.
She pulls out a sword. There's also a small lever to the left of the door. She pulls it down, and you all hear a ka-chung sound. She pushes the lever back up, and same thing, ka-chung. As she
Panic.
opens the doors,
What happening?
we go to break. Take
No.
5-minute break.
Eh,
Quick break. We want to try and finish up at least this part of the story, and then we'll talk about if we want to go a little bit further. But we're going to take a 5-minute break to let everyone use the restroom. We'll be back at 9:45. Thanks, guys.
And we're back.
All right.
Fuck, I forgot.
As we step in, music has stopped. Cue the intensive scene. Again, the doctor brings you to a closed room. She pulls the switch twice. Both times you hear a loud ka-chung sound, and then proceeds to unlock the door and ushers you all in.
We see the home screen right now.
We're still on the you're
Yep.
still on
I'm gonna
home
bring
screen.
you guys in right now.
And if
Suspense,
you are supposed to
suspense,
have music,
suspense, suspense.
there you go.
And the music is coming.
It's coming off right now. Dr. Camille brings you into the room. You guys can see spikes to the left and right, correct?
Yes.
Black screen.
Kind of.
Oh, you have to track your
You have to zoom.
your zoom out. Yeah.
I need 30
Yeah.
seconds. I'll be right back.
Can you see them now?
I can see
Yes.
them. Yep.
Okay. So she nods to you all and says, "These spikes here have been designed to kill anything that comes through that." And she points at the shadow rift to the south of this room.
I put my hand on my head. Oh, Lefa, not again.
I look at Orpheus look at Valence and look back at the rift and look back at Valence, and I was like, is that what I think it is?
You say that
I
out loud.
think-
Yeah. Or looking at
Dr. Camille says you're familiar with this. Thorin, roll me a perception check as you approach.
Sorry, I'm back. I heard the door.
Okay. Wraith, you might need to move your camera to where it's lit up.
Okay, you don't see anything at the moment.
I'm back.
So yeah,
Welcome back.
I write my character Orpheus look at you and look at the rift and I say, is that what I think it is? Look at you in the rift.
Again, Dr. Camille says to you all, "Are you familiar with this? What this is?"
We've seen one before. I'm just gonna say I'm just gonna say it out loud.
She's very excited at this moment. What is this? She says to you all. We've been dealing with things coming through this for almost a month now.
I have no clue, but I don't want to look into it. I don't want to look into it.
She nods to you and says, "Yes, I've looked into it myself. I dare not go into it, but I've seen some scary things through there.
Do you
If
see
you look hard
the
enough."
Do you see the bunny lizard?
She cocks her head. What?
The bunny lizard. The one with the big teeth?
Bony lizard?
Yeah.
I've seen lizards. I've never seen bony lizards unless you cut them open and remove their bones.
Never mind.
Most of the creatures that you saw in the other room is what I've collected from this thing. However, few things have come through that I was unable to take care of.
And what are those things?
Green looking men, muscular, other creatures much larger than what my spikes can destroy.
And then I point at Kahe. I
Things
was
that
like,
I'm not familiar with, she says. Monstrous things. Things I'd prefer not to think about it any longer. As you can see, this has become she finds she has some trouble laying the words to the group. She seems very saddened by the deaths of her people, the monstrosities that have been coming out of this thing. I can't explain how long this has been here. It's been about a month that I can think of. However, the monstrosities that have been coming, it's been almost constant. I still fear while I'm in here.
and
However, there is a switch in the back if we need to and she points to the spikes in the wall. Release the traps.
Can I, as you say that, can I start walking over there and to see if the crystal in my bag glow up or anything?
Hmm.
Anyone else want to say or do anything while Orpheus is taking a walk towards the rift?
Kahir will take his hand out and like gently place it on her shoulder and just look very calmly into her eyes and don't worry, we be here to help. We can help. You're safe. Just kind of giving her this presence
He
of
says
calm.
to help how?
We have experience with this. The others, they know what to do. And besides, if anything come through, me got your back.
She nods. If you can help, yes, do what you must. But if I need to prepare myself, please let me know. I can call some of the guards over if we need assistance.
So
Guys, well, if we're just here to close this, let's just go ahead and close this.
does anything
Orpheus,
happen
roll me
to
a
my bag?
perception check as you get closer. And roll me a second one. You feel the crystal being shedding light from, or you feel the heat coming from your bag. You see the light shedding out. Everyone can notice the light. It's pretty bright. The first perception check was to see if you felt the heat coming from the crystal. Again, same thing that you felt when you're on the color aisle seems to happen with your crystal. Your perception check, the second one is to look inside. I'm assuming you're looking inside again, but kind of hesitantly.
Yeah, what
It's
do
up
I
to you if you want to look inside.
what do I see?
Roll me a d4.
Oh no. Uh-oh. Ooh. What did I do?
Welcome back, Bony Lizard.
1.
Oh, oh no.
Let me check my notes. You see a empty cave. Quite strange looking. Looks to be a bed to the north of the cave. Maybe someone's home. You again scan a little bit further. There is light coming from the cave. Again, very much looks like possibly someone's home. Some vials spread across tables. In the center, it looks like a bowl with maybe some liquid in it. Someone's home, maybe, in a cave. You can definitely see the rock above, the stalagmites above. You can hear the echo as some water drips down. And the just like last time, as soon as you notice the water dripping down, the vision fades in the shadow door.
Okay.
Do I smell any coffee coming through this portal?
Roll me a perception check if you want to see if there's coffee. Anyone else doing anything or saying anything? Again, the doctor is pulling out a short sword, readying it herself in case anything comes out.
Nope, I'll take the glaive off my back and just
front of
prepare
her.
as well. Yep, take a step forward in front of her.
Traherne, no coffee. But you do hear something.
Thurin, since he's right next to the portal, the shadow portal now, he's kind of just staring inside, trying to see if there's anything on the other side they can identify.
Traherne, you can hear the doctor's boots kind of shaking on the ground. She seems very nervous.
I think they're in wanna roll a perception check, I think. That's what I said.
Doran, what were you saying on there?
He wants to
I
do
wanted
perception.
since I no, it's Thurin. Since I walked right next to the portal, I'm standing right next to Orpheus. I'm kind of just like inquisitively staring inside, seeing if I see anything.
You rolled already to see if you saw anything, right? You got an 8.
No, you told me when I first came on the map. You told me to roll.
Oh yeah.
See if I saw
That,
anything in the
that
room.
was for that. You can roll again if you want to see if you can see anything now. Now that you've gotten even closer. Roll me a d4. You see the volcano that Balance was speaking about before. I think he even told you guys that he saw a volcano in Death's Desert.
Mhm.
You see the same thing. You see a volcano. You see the moon very brightly above the volcano. Strange because it's daylight out, right, in Terra. So this would possibly be strange to you. You thought that Death's Desert was in Terra, and
Yeah.
right now it's pretty bright outside.
Mm.
Not sure if this is the same volcano. You
Uh,
don't know what Valance sorry, getting late.
I'm just taking a step forward
Balance.
next to Doctor Camille or whatever her name is, and I just kind of I'm just looking forward. I'm just like I sense her shaking in her shoes and stuff, and I'm just like, are you okay?
the same time,
She
I'm just
nods.
gonna. Uh,
She
okay.
takes a step back and nods and says, "If you're going to deal with it, please deal with it. I again don't like being in here."
Yeah. So as she say that, I reach into my bag and get out the crystal as it glowing, and it's like it glowing and the heat come out there, and
It's the right
I'm-
hand.
with my right hand, yes.
Okay. With your right hand, yes. It same thing as before. It almost immediately attaches to this thing magnetically. It feels like. If you were to do an Arcana check, you would know this is magically attaching itself to the rift, just like you before. Similar sensation. You also feel a lot of kinship to the crystal as you have touched it for the first time, being outside of Color Isle.
Mm-hmm.
You feel very protective of this crystal now that you've brought it out again. Um, so much so that like it feels like a puppy to you. You know, like when you love a puppy or a cat,
Yeah.
you get that sense of like you want to protect it.
Okay.
As you again, this is the first time you're taking it out outside of the holy place of Color Isle.
Yeah. So
Are
as
you
it
saying or
happened,
doing anything?
I just look back at Balan. I say, um, I think we have to do the same thing. Do you want to come up here?
Mhm. I pull it out and I cup it in the same hand he did.
Before we do anything, I'm just gonna go
I already
ahead
did it.
and
Just kidding.
as they're taking out their crystals and touching against it, you see me. I grab my sword. I start, murmuring a little spell just in case we need any protection. I cast Bless on Orphis, Valence, and myself.
So I'm going to give you the option. This is a level 1 spell, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to give you an option here. Something that I've kind of explained to you guys as mechanics when it comes to battle, casting things. You can ready an action, meaning, for example, if something comes out of the rift and attacks Valence or Orpheus, this action will go off. You got to give me a trigger and tell me what you want to do with that trigger. And if the action happens, then your action of bless will go off on that particular person or persons, whatever you're doing, before the battle round starts. This is to help you save spells. Um, something that you guys should use as a mechanic. If this happens, I'm going to do this.
So it doesn't count towards one of our spell uses if we have it ready.
Until you use it.
Unless it goes off, correct.
Unless it
So,
goes
for
off.
example, he says, I want to use bless if anything comes right out of that rift. If something
If
comes out of the
anything
rift,
comes out of the rift,
I'm going to say
I'll
that's
be
your
using
trigger.
Bless.
Your bless went off. You know,
Okay.
take one spell slot down on your level 1 spells.
Right.
So I'm going to axe now before you guys start doing anything with the crystals or start attaching it. Wraith, you picked it out of your right hand. To answer your question, nothing happens. It is glowing brightly and it is very warm. But knowing the last time you put it in your left hand when Orpheus was using his right hand, you have the knowledge that that worked the last time. But I'm going to ask, does anyone want to ready an action before they do this?
Um,
You can ready
it's
an
kind of
attack
ready in
or a
action.
spell.
It's not really well. I want to pull out my my shield and my quarterstaff again. Is it still imbued with power from the trip, or do I need to re-imbue it?
You can recast your shillelagh now. It is a cantrip,
Okay.
so you don't need to ready an action for that.
Okay.
So yeah, you
And
can
then
actually.
as I'm
Dr.
doing
Keel looks
shillelagh
at you
on
as
it.
you keep it, by the way.
Okay. So as I'm doing it, she looks at me, but as I'm focused on doing my shillelagh on my quarterstaff, um, I ask her what happened because she's still clearly frightened. I'm just like, what happened the last time you were in this room?
I'd prefer to talk if we left the room. If you guys are going to do something, please do something. She's very scared now.
Okay.
She's
I
coming
look
back again, by the way.
I look over to Valen. I was like, I think you're holding it on the wrong hand.
And I look at him and be like, maybe you're holding it on the wrong hand.
Okay, and then, but my hand stuck on there. If you look at it,
No, the crystal's stuck, not your hand.
well, I feel the need to protect it.
Okay, well, shoot your hand.
Valence, you also feel same thing. You feel very protective of the crystal. Not that you won't hand it off to another keeper, but again, it's like a puppy, right? You hand off a puppy to someone, you're constantly watching it. It's not like it's if someone puts it in their pocket, then you're not going to be worried about it. As long as it's a keeper, you feel very comfortable with your party holding it. But again, you feel very protective of it. Are you asking Orpheus to let go of it?
No, he literally can put both hands on. But what happens if
Okay.
we put both hands on?
I don't know.
Ooh.
You tell me. Are you going to try?
I would like to
Yeah,
ready
they
a
were fucking
javelin
around
before they
inside
do
that.
anything, just in case if something pops up.
You
I'm
got
gonna
it.
throw a javelin.
Yep. So we have a bless as a ready action, javelin throw.
Right. Switch it to the other hand.
Okay.
Since he
You
won't
can do
do
both
it.
hands if you want. If you want to test it really quick.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
no.
hold both hands. Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Both
I'll
hands
hold both
works.
hands, I see.
Same thing. It attaches right to it. It seems like it just has to be in that particular vicinity. So on each opposite end of the shadow, you can discern now that it's not the hands; it's where you're holding the crystal. As soon as you get it close to the edge on both the right and the left side of the rift, it magnetically or magically attaches itself to the rift. And again, you guys get that sensation like you can close it if you guys brought the rift together. The two crystals, to touch in the middle.
Yeah, so I'm
So
just
far,
trying
nothing comes out. Nothing happens at the moment as both crystals attach to the rift.
I'm just trying to put it closer to Valence.
I push towards him.
Okay. The rift closes. Again, just like before, shrinks down very much in size as you guys are bringing it closer and closer together. Until it's about the size of a penny. And finally, as it's about to close, Orpheus, roll me a perception check.
Oh no.
You got 3 seconds. Perception,
Uh,
perception, perception.
I did. Oh no.
Am I doing perception?
Closed. Orpheus only. Orpheus is the only one that saw the dragon last time, correct?
Yeah.
Orpheus, you see a red eye peer at you as it's closing. And you hear... let me check your character sheet. I think you now have
Yeah, I know
a
extra
new
language.
language.
Yeah.
You got a new language that your patrons gave you in your tree. Do you notice it there?
Yeah.
What is it?
Inferno.
Okay. You hear an infernal. I'll be seeing you. As the portal closes.
I look
If
around.
anyone else... By the way, infernal sounds like a demon language. For anyone that is a D&D nerd, sounds like... So, you understand what that means, and that means I'll be seeing you.
I look around. I was like, did you guys hear that? That voice?
Shake my head.
Dr. Camille looks down and tries to peer through to see what happened with the rift. Does anyone say anything to her as she's kind of getting antsy. By the
I'll turn
way,
to her and
what's
say-
behind is nothing. You guys can ignore the spiral in there.
So yeah,
Here, I'll
I'm
turn
still
to her
scared.
and just look,
Yeah.
and it is done. It's closed. You no longer need to fear it.
Yeah. I'm still scared at this point. I'm just like
she's
yeah.
stuttering at this moment. It's closed. It's gone. She
Yes.
rushes past both of you. I'm gonna delete these spikes because we don't need them. We could have needed them, but we didn't. And she kind of trying to look over balance. It's gone. What did you guys do? How did you do that? She's overcome with joy and questions at the same time. Does Rose Garden Kingdom have a way to close these? Where did this knowledge come from? How did you guys do this? Do you guys have? Can you guys use magic?
Well, at the same time, she asking that I'm in the middle of like stirring. So I was like, but nobody hear that? That voice right there. Do you get it? Did nobody hear it? Do you hear it? Do you hear it?
Turn my attention fully to the doctor. It's not necessarily we have magic, but these stones have magic and allows us to close these rifts. These crystals.
Are you still holding the crystal in your hand? Or did you put it away?
Me,
I'm still
yeah, I have mine in my hand still.
Yeah. Same.
She looks at it. What is it? She says.
We're still figuring that out.
She nods her head. I'll leave you to it then. I have my secrets, and as I'm sure you all have yours. However, I do have a request for you. I would like you to assist with another task. Something similar to this, and she refers to where the rift was.
Good doctor, are there more rifts nearby that you know of?
We can only assume. Every party that we've sent to the north has not returned.
You
We
seem
assume-
to have.
Go ahead. She stops.
I was gonna
to
say
listen to you.
you seem to have a lot
She
of.
loves you guys right now. By the way, she's like very happy. She wants you guys to really help her out. So she anything that she thought was like weird with you guys before, totally gone from her thoughts. Go ahead.
So I look at her and I just say, you seem to have a lot of questions for us, and you have now learned a lot about us, but we know nothing of you. Why should we continue to help? Why should we trust you?
She pauses for a moment, and she responds, "You have no reason to trust anyone. But do you build relationships by not at least giving something?"
What have you given us?
She looks at your body, revealing, and gives a sly smirk and says, "You like coffee, don't you?
I partake.
You should head by the tavern. We had some pretty good coffee there. By the way that coffee hit you, I'm pretty sure you probably got the tavern's coffee. Not so good. We get that to the soldiers to keep them awake. We actually brew it extra strong to make sure that they're on their guard. She says again to you, again, there's no reason to trust anyone, but we wouldn't have survived if we didn't have trustworthy people in this town. I know you're all visitors and you're just on your way. Seems like you might have an important task, and she kind of nods towards the crystals. Don't know if you're here specifically for that task or what you're doing here in general. Seems like you guys, from what the guards told me, fell out of the sky. I hate to speak of anything that I'm not familiar with, but I've heard tales of angels and devils. Seems like devils are coming from these rifts. Can angels come from the sky?
They can, potentially.
She nods. I don't know what you're doing here. However, again, we don't have much, but we can pay for any services that you provide to our town. And she goes in her pocket, pulls out a small sack, jiggles it a little bit, kind of weighs it in her hand, and hands it over to you, Traherne. Just a token of thanks. Not much I can really give. Again, if you guys have any injuries or ailments, if you need my attention or my services, please feel free to come by anytime. As thanks and repayment for what you've done for our village so far. Again, and she kind of, again, returns to the topic at hand with the north. We've lost a good portion, most of our village to the north. We were actually a much larger farming village and mining village. We've lost almost everyone. You seem like a capable bunch. If you're looking for more coin, a place to stay, some good food, this village will be your home for as long as you need it. And if you're able to help, maybe look into or find some of the party members we've sent to the north, we'd be again in your gratitude.
We can definitely use some rest.
Old Man Pilth, which I believe you guys have met, some of you, as he left the clinic just earlier. He has some more information on some of the parties that have gone off. And I'm sure if you speak to him, or if you prefer, I can pay for your rooms at the inn. But she kind of nods to Traherne. I've pretty much given you what I have.
I have one inquiry. Do you know anything of gnomes?
She rolled a 20. But she is a human. She has no idea what a gnome is. But with the word gnome, Thorin and Traherne do know what gnomes are. Gnomes live pretty much in the Great Forest, I think it's referred to in Niflheim, where Traherne actually set up his home, in quotations. Traherne, you're familiar with the city, the old tree, dead center in the Great Forest. Thorin, you're also aware of the Great Tree. You've never been there yourself, but you know that there are representatives from all different races that goes to the Great Tree when there's triflings, burglaries, anything involving your race or anyone else's race. Usually the race will send a representative to collect their prisoners from their race to reprimand them on any reasons or anything that's happened within the borders of other races, such as the gnomes. And again, Traherne and Thorin, you're familiar with gnomes, as Valence is questioning. Valence is questioning Dr. Camille.
What makes you bring up gnomes?
Well, we're supposed to seek out the gnome elders.
I mean, I've met a few gnomes before. They live a little bit north of my homeland.
Well, that's not here, unfortunately.
So at this point, Orpheus didn't listen to any of that. Like he just out of it because of that what he see, and then he stayed next to Kahir and he just tapped. He's like, "Hey, big guy, do you not hear that?"
No, me not hear nothing.
Give me a perception check to hear.
I was right next to it, I think.
You definitely didn't hear anything. You also, even though there's sounds of village outside that you guys can hear in the music right now, the only thing you can hear is the pitter-patter of possibly a fourth pulling a carriage. That's the only thing you hear outside.
What about Valen?
Talk about the carriage? I hear wheels. Click clack, click clack, click clack.
No, the void from that Bonnie Lizard. He spoke to me.
Me only hear Valen's question.
No,
Okay.
Valence. I think I may know how to get back over there.
Oh, how do you propose we do that?
But the question is, do we want to head back or do we want to help out this town first?
You
I
say
suppose
we
that's
help.
something. I suppose that's something we can think about and discuss over drinks.
Me agree.
But
To the tavern.
Oh, that's right. My cousin said he gonna buy us free drinks.
Hmm.
Dr. Camille nods to you all and says, "I'll give you guys a round of drinks as well. It's the least I can do. Again, I don't have much left over after." And she points to Traherne with the gold bag. By the way, Traherne, you have 3 gold, 10 silver, and 4 copper. You can add that to your character sheet, or you can divvy it up to the party. 3 gold,
here.
10 silver.
Yeah.
What did I say? And 4 copper.
I just add that to what I currently have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Say that one more time.
3 gold, 10 silver, and 4 copper. That was what it was in the money bag.
it's all for coffee.
Hmm.
She says, I can fork over some money. I'll bring you guys over to the tavern and introduce you to the tavern owner if you guys would kindly follow me. She
Lead the
now
way.
leaves the door open. You saw before she kind of like closed everything as she was moving around. She leaves the door open now. She doesn't really need this room for...
I walked into an elevator.
So, yeah, you guys will now notice the switch that was at the top. That's where Dr. Camille was backing up into. If anything did come out of the rift, her ready action was to run over to the switch and pull it so that the spikes would come out. She wasn't going to do it while you guys were standing there. At least that's what you guys would think. But that didn't happen, so we'll never know.
That's also why I didn't stand by the
so I'm gonna-
spikes.
Everyone's out of the clinic, correct? I'll bring
Yep.
you guys
Yeah.
back to the town map. Dr. Camille very quickly says, okay, to the northeast, I think you guys got the tour already, but there's the market if you guys need any supplies. There's a church here. We worship Lifa. The tavern is directly south of us, and I'll walk you guys over and introduce you to the barkeep, the owner of the tavern. I should be in today. Everyone heading into the tavern?
Yeah, I
I'm-
think I'm okay with. I might go check out the market first.
Yeah, if you guys want to do anything before you head into the tavern, you can. If you
I'm
want to check out the
curious
church or the market.
about. I'm curious about the fact that they worship Lifa in this town. So, I'm also cured of withdrawals right now from from coffee. So I'm gonna make my way to the church.
Okay. Everyone else heading into the tavern?
I am, yes.
Thorin, Orpheus?
I'm heading in tavern.
I'll be going to the tavern after I check out the market.
So Valence, I have a handout, but I think I'm going to give it to you guys on Discord. It's basically a list of what's available in every market in every city,
Okay.
unless it's a specific market like a magic shop, where
Oh,
you can
okay.
buy like scrolls or magic items. Basically, you can buy anything that's on the list of the market items in this particular market or any market throughout any town that you guys come across in both the magic world and Terra, the human world. So if there's anything in particular that you're looking for, let me know.
I think you sent us the list already in the GM announcement in
Yeah,
the beginning.
You did give us the list like a while ago.
Yep. So if you want to take a look at that list, if anything interests you, some of you, I think everyone has at least a couple of gold or money on them. We do it in divisions of 10. So 10 copper equals 1 silver, 10 silver equals 1 gold. If you want to change it up, I know I gave you 10 silver, Traherne. If you want to switch it over to 1 gold, you can.
Okay.
100 gold equals 1 platinum. or platinum piece, which you probably won't see unless you're super rich or
What?
win some type of tournament.
I thought I'm rich.
Doesn't mean you left the house with all your gold.
Uh-huh.
You thought wrong.
I just look at it. I don't need anything. I'm gonna go head to the tavern as well.
You're heading in the church?
Yep.
Gold pieces for manacles. Those might be
All right,
useful.
so we're
for,
gonna follow Traherne really quick as he goes into the church, and then we'll go to the tavern for everyone else. And Traherne, you're gonna
Uh-oh.
follow into the tavern afterwards. Yes.
Yes.
Wrong person. Let me grab Traherne. Traherne, you walk into a fairly nice church. Seems untouched from the raids. Well kept, very well lit. You could see some stained glass windows, both on the left and the right. All different depictions of the goddess Lifa. You are familiar with the way she looks. You've worshipped her quite often. Seen your own depictions of her in your world of Niflheim. Strangely enough, the depictions of the stained glass of Lifa look very similar as well. She holds a staff that is curved at the top, which has a very large leaf that comes off of it. Usually depicted as either a green leaf or a gold leaf, depending on whose depiction you are looking at. Some illustrations show it as green leaf, some as gold. All depictions show her having a crown of leaves and thorns. Not necessarily Jesus-like, but thorns heading upwards, almost like a crown, like a king. Very beautiful elf, straight up wood elf. You see that again, very much so on these depictions, except on these depictions she has regular ears, regular rounded ears, human-like instead of elf-like. It's the only main difference that you see here versus your.
Okay. So I'm gonna proceed into the church.
As you close the doors behind you, you hear a small noise. Oh, someone there? As what looks to be a priest or some type of priest steps out from a back room
Okay.
and greets you. Hello, young man. Have you come
Hello.
to seek guidance from our patron and goddess Lifa?
I have.
What can I do for you, my child?
I too worship the goddess Lifa. And I have came from a faraway land.
He
Will you guide
eyes up
me in
your ears.
prayer to connect with Lifa to learn more about these troubling times?
He very obviously is staring at your ears. My young child, what has afflicted you? Is your ears the reason why you've come to pray to Lifa for healing?
Yes, I was in the forest and I encountered a rare plant that made my ears swell, and I can't get it to go down.
Give me a deception check. You need to beat a 6. Deception, not perception.
Oh, sorry. Let me reroll it.
You're gonna roll a 2 now.
Give me a 1.
Oh, there you
There we
go.
go.
Oh, there you go.
He totally believes you. He asks you to kneel down. There's a small altar to the right, so he steps over to the right. He asks you to kneel down and bow your head as he places a hand on both over the top of both of your ears. Roll me an Arcana check as he does this. Seems like this is the second person in this town that's performing some type of magic.
Okay.
Both of his hands I think you've seen healing magics and stuff before. This doesn't look like healing magic. It's not a bright light or like a growth of a plant or anything that you've encountered when you're doing healing magic. Instead, his hands kind of shimmer and glow and change and shift, like the vision fades around it behind it. And he says something and brings his hands up and turns and grabs a mirror and shows it to you. Your ears are now rounded.
Okay.
Roll me an insight,
Oh my God.
investigation check. Roll me an investigation. You have to beat a 13.
Nope.
These are your real ears.
Okay. So I touch them.
My child, seems Lifa has answered your prayers.
I'm kind of shocked, but intrigued at the shape of my ears, and I just say, "Thank you, Father."
Are you feeling them?
Huh?
Are you feeling them?
Yeah, I felt my ears. They're changed.
They still feel pointy.
Oh, okay. So, I just say, "Thank you, Father." Can you tell me more about what's been going on around this town?
Yes, child. Strange creatures have been invading. Countless nights. Seems these creatures always come at night. Although we'll have sometimes very large insects invade, sometimes in swarms. These creatures we've seen travel in packs, sometimes with wolves. These small, I can describe what they look like. I don't have a name for them. We call them night raiders.
Do the scriptures tell you anything of these beasts?
No, my child. And again, you'll probably know this. The goddess Lifa, he says to you,
Mm-hmm.
patron of healing, crops, growth, does not speak of small creatures who only destroy. She rewards those who pay attention to the feelings of others, the feelings of the plants, the life. You know, child, goddess Lifa is the goddess basically of life. What these creatures bring is death. Death, destruction, chaos. Nothing what our goddess brings or provides to the people who patron her or patronize her.
Has your time with Lifa provided you with any insight to weaknesses that these creatures may have?
My child, I unfortunately do not have any power to fight. I merely provide guidance to the town. If you're looking for that type of information, you may want to speak to the guards. Old Man Pilth, who has sent out quite a few parties. There is also a man who used to fight all of these creatures, but he's been sent out with one of the parties. A man by the name of Timothy Granger. His wife lives in one of the houses to in this particular town to the north. She's expecting a child, but her husband has not returned with the parties that traveled out to the north. She might
Thank
have
you.
some information if you like, but I'd speak to Old Man Pilth. He employed Timothy to go north.
Thank you for your guidance. Would you mind if I take a few minutes to look around before I leave to pay my respects
Sure.
to the goddess Lifa?
Sure. You may look around, child.
Can I do, I don't know if it would be a perception check or arcana, but can I do a check just to see if I find any relics or books of interest that might give me some clues about this area or what might be going on?
Yep. He very nonchalantly just walks off, goes up to the altar, and begins his own prayers. Yeah. So to the right, you could see like an open book, mainly just normal scriptures that you would normally see at any church. Just talking about the goddess Lifa, life, her travels, and her communications with beings. Meaning, like, if someone has communed with her directly, they've wrote it down and put it in those scriptures as well. Some of the things that you may see on these pages you recognize, some of them you may not have recognized, that maybe Lifa has interacted with humans. To the north of that, where I'm pinging, there is encased in glass, there's some what you would think is probably holy relics, a little scepter, a crystal ball, a much older looking holy book, possibly a copy or an older copy, maybe an original from someone who is more profound or more knowing in regards to the religions, and it's been kept safely in that glass container. Other
Okay.
than that, nothing really stands out to you, other than the glass, the stained glass windows.
Okay. So I first want to walk over to these books. And actually, I'm going to ask for permission first. I'm just going to ask the father, may I look at these books over on the altar?
As you say that, we are going to join our party very quickly at the tavern. We are
Okay.
coming up on our close for today's session, but I want to get to the party at the tavern really quick.
Why is our druid a rogue?
Rogue.
As you guys walk in the tavern, I'm going to leave you here, Traherne, so you can see, but you're not here, so I'm going to put you in the corner. As you guys enter the tavern, you hear behind you, it seems like it started raining. You definitely look back and it's pouring out. I don't know if the clouds just opened up, but it was sunny just moments ago. And as you walk in, you hear a warm welcome from it looks like either the barkeep or the bar owner. He says to you all, and I have some dialogue here for you guys. He actually doesn't say anything yet. If you guys want to walk in or introduce yourselves, I'll also bring in Dr. Camille, because she did follow you guys in. He looks over and nods to Dr. Camille. Dr. Camille nods back, and she kind of ushers you guys to move forward so you can step in as well. Welcome, welcome. Come in, come in. Welcome to the Manticore's Tale. I am Gerald. Welcome, travelers. Make yourselves... Oh, is that a Pertanian tribesman? Boy, last time I've come across your folk, I was just a wee boy on vacation with my family traveling south. What brings you this far into the mainland? Your folk usually don't come this close to Kingdom of Killahem, right? Not that you're not welcome, my boy. He laughs wholeheartedly towards you. Obviously, you could hear. What brings you this far inland? He says to you.
Adventure and ale. I'll take a keg.
Ah, tribesmen, come close. I have a special brew just for you. As he opens up a tankard and begins pouring out from a tap. Something much darker than you would normally see in an ale. Much foamier at the top. And he pushes it along to you. For a tribesman this far inland, this one's on the house special, Manticore's brew. Enjoy.
I'll take a giant swig of it. And... Yes.
Yeah. Tastes
I'll
pretty
take
good.
a full keg. And I'll
Full
slam down a gold piece.
Rich, get out here. A barmaid comes out. Yes, Gerald? Get this man a whole barrel of our finest ale. Yes, Mr. Manticore. And she runs back to the back. She seems very timid compared to Gerald, who seems very loud and outgoing. Anything else I could do for you, my boy? He kind of eyes up the rest of the party. Dr. Camille walks in as well, and kind of calls over Gerald to lend an ear very quickly, as she's remember she offered to pay for your guys' drinks at least the first round. As she kind of looks at Kahir is like, you're gonna pay for that barrel yourself, right?
Of course.
She doesn't say
That's
it, but she looks at you like,
He just points to the gold piece that he is laying on the countertop now.
okay. She nods. She hands Gerald a couple pieces of silver and says, please help these men to some drinks, some food. They may be looking for a room, but whatever you have available, Gerald, please, make sure you take care of these gentlemen. They've done a great service to this town, and I'm sure possibly they may be looking for work. He says, okay, I will take care of them. Thank you, Dr. Camille. Would you like to stay for a drink yourself? A fine young lady like yourself, you need to have a hearty meal, good drink. She goes, no, I'm very busy. And she says, okay, come by anytime. And she walks out. Do you guys say anything to her as she leaves?
Kahir waves with his other hand as he's got the tankard up to his mouth. Bye, pretty lady!
She winks at you as you yell to her and says, bye, strong man, enjoy your drinks. And she leaves. Gentlemen, have a seat. Your keg will be out shortly. Can I help you guys with any food, any additional drinks? Your first round's on the house. I'll have the barmaid send it over. Today's special, salami on a plate.
Got any fish?
Have I
Fresh
drank?
caught salmon just came in this morning from your homeland. We've had a shipment come in from Pertania. Not sure if we'll cook it as good as you guys, but we could try.
I'm feeling reminiscent of home. Send it over to me. Go talk to Pills.
Do you have any tea?
He side eyes you for a second. Yes, we have green tea, brown tea, red tea, and if you fancy, black tea, but usually men don't drink the black tea. It's usually for women when they're not feeling too well.
You have any jolly tea?
The hell's jolly tea?
Never mind. I just walk over by Kahir.
Kahir, you're heading towards Old Man Pilth?
Correct.
Okay. He ushers you over, scoots over so everyone can possibly sit.
Move with Kahir. Boop.
Oh, you guys are over there. Okay, I'll send the winch over there. Orpheus, what are you doing?
Oh, do I have a drink?
The drinks he said will be coming over to the table,
Oh, okay.
but you can interact with Gerald if you like.
Um,
He definitely notices you're still at the bar, and the rest of your party kind of went over to the table. He he turns his attention to you very quickly and says, "You there, young boy? Are you old enough to drink? How old are you?"
18.
Wedge! We have some apple juice back there?
Excuse you. I drunk before.
See, you wasted your charm earlier.
Drunk before?
You could have charmed him for some ale.
From
Are you being deceptive, or you've had a wine or a drink before?
No, I'm not being deceptive. I was like, in my mansion, I get all kind of drink.
Okay, mansion. We do have some wines here if you'd like. None of the good stuff. We've kind of wasted a lot of it. Most of the
I
men
wa-
here don't really drink wine.
I want whatever
It's
the
kind of
big guy
old.
got. I want whatever the big guy got.
Ah, the Manticore Special. You want the ale.
Yeah,
You sure
that
you can
one.
handle the ale?
Um, you you
You know
see,
that guy. He's big guy. He can handle it. I don't know about you.
yeah, I'm
All
big
right,
too.
let
I
me
thought.
He gives you a half a pint instead of a full pint, and slides it over. Give it a taste. See if you can handle it.
So I just chug it. Do I have to
Roll me a
check if I get?
Constitution saving throw. This shit is strong.
Oh my god.
You're drunk. You're not totally drunk where you're passing out, but you're very very tipsy.
So I just like stumble drunk over
Yep. And as
there.
you're stumbling, we're gonna return back to the church with our friend.
Did I get my drink too?
They bring it over. That's what he said.
Okay.
Traherne. Traherne, what were you doing?
All right, so I was browsing through the books. I got permission to look at the books. I wanted to see what kind of interactions that people have had with Lifa. Do I see anything of interest as I flip through the pages?
Yes. On roll me a d20 to see what page. See how long you were taking to go through this book. On the fourth page, as you turn it over, it's not the words that call out to you very quickly. It's the fact that there's a blood stain with a fingerprint in it.
Hmm?
Maybe someone
Okay.
cut their finger. Do you want to roll an investigation to see if you can discern if someone cut their finger or if this was a drop that fell? Definitely someone didn't cut their finger. This looks like a drop that fell. Possibly someone didn't notice and then smeared it.
Okay. I look up above me. Is there any signs of blood above me? Okay.
Nope. Just
Alright.
wood panels and again the pane glass.
Okay. I flip through a couple more pages. Do I see anything else on the other pages?
No.
Okay.
Unless you want to spend a really long time going through. This is a pretty big,
Yeah.
thick book. Has
Okay.
a lot of scriptures on it. Again,
Okay.
a lot of the stuff that you're familiar with, some stuff that you're not, but doesn't seem too far off to what Leaf is like. At least from what your learnings is as a patron.
Okay. So I'm gonna walk over to these relics. I realize that my friends are all in the tavern, so I don't have too much time. And I look at these relics, and I ask the priest to come back over to where I'm at. That I had a question about the relics, and I wanted to ask him if So what you were saying earlier interests me. That these creatures are not of life but of death. Is it possible that one of these relics could possess the power of life and be a weakness to the creatures?
He shakes his head no, pretty sternly.
Okay. And
These
when I
are
look in there,
relics. Yeah, he responds. These are relics of old times. Not too sure what powers you're referring to. He says. He whispers in your ear. I know a couple of small tricks. Very minor healing. Dr. Camille. She knows a little bit of tricks as well. Some healing.
would you be willing to teach me these tricks? Dr. Camille has asked us to help the town, and we would like to travel north.
He rolled a 1, by the way.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm not even sure how I do it. To teach another person how to cure ears and minor cuts and bruises. Again, I'm not too sure about it myself. It's been about a month since I've been able to do some of these strange things.
Do you
I'm not too
remember what you
understanding of
were?
it myself.
Do you remember what you were doing when that occurred?
Sleeping,
Sleeping.
woke up, was able to turn on a light with my finger. Actually, the light comes from my finger. It goes over to the candle, and the candle lights.
Okay.
He does it. He actually points at a candle that's unlit, and the candle lights.
Okay. So I look back at the relics. Do any of the relics resemble? Because a lot of the things in here are familiar back from home, just different depictions of it. Do any of these relics look familiar to what I might have seen back home or used?
Now, these look inert, meaning no magics in it, nothing
Okay.
special about them. Again, you're very in touch with druidic magics, things that Leafa would leave as a relic, or something that, would be encased in like glass, would be something that's probably very holy, very much in tune with divine magics. And there would be a ward on it. You place your hand on the glass, you don't feel anything. There's nothing stopping you from lifting the latch if you wanted to, if you were tempted to play with it a little bit. Just seems like crap in there.
Do any of the relics just catch my eye as far as something that stands out from the rest? Nothing at all? They're just
No.
objects to me? Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your time, Father. I may be back. I'm going to go join my friends in the tavern.
You're always welcome in the Church of Leafa Mage.
Do you have any other words of wisdom before I go?
Don't let the door hit you on the way out, please.
Okay. All right.
I'd like to go to bed.
I make my way out to the tavern. So if you want to drive me there.
Yep. You enter the tavern. Once again, Gerald looks over to you. Welcome, welcome. Ah, another traveler. What can I get you, my boy?
Do you have any coffee? It's been a long day.
Best coffee in town. Haven't you heard? He turns his back, reaches underneath the cabinet, pulls out a very large, almost looks like it's too heavy for him to carry, but he carries it pretty well. Pretty strong guy, I guess. Pops it down. A little bit spills over. How much would you like? Cup, a pint, quart, barrel.
How much will...
You ever heard of cold brew?
Yes, do you make cold brew?
It's cold.
I've only had hot coffee. I've heard of this cold brew. What is it?
We warm it up. We leave it out. It cools down. Some people like it.
So it's old coffee?
No, it had a lid on it. Didn't you see me remove the lid?
Ah. Well, how much
You can
will...
stir it a little bit.
How much can I buy for 6 silver?
6 silver. You got a barrel? I'll pour half of it in.
I don't have a barrel, but I do have the sack. And I...
You got a barrel back there?
I don't have a barrel, but I do have a sack. And I pull out my water skin.
Lizette Hurley rushes out. Yes, Gerald? You have a barrel? Yes, Gerald. What was in it? Pig shit. Can you go rinse it out at least? Okay. She runs out the front door.
I'll take it. So I pull out the 6 silver. I throw it on the table.
Yeah, he holds his hand out, expecting, and you hand him the 5 silver.
6.
6.
6 silver. Okay. He counts it. Are you handing the silver that Dr. Camille gave you, or are you handing silver that you've had? from
So
Niflheim.
silver that I've had.
From Niflheim?
Oh, does it look when I look at the silver like in the bag? What's the difference? What does it look like to me?
So you're very much familiar with the silver that is from Niflheim. It does have a depiction on it of Gul'dan, the god of luck and fortune.
Okay. Okay.
The silver here actually has the king on it,
Oh, okay. Let's.
or at
I
least a
didn't know that.
depiction of a king.
Yeah, I didn't think about silver looking different. So let's use the silver
Kind of
from
looks similar.
here.
Gul'dan is holding a hammer, and anyone that has silver from Niflheim will have the same thing, or gold. It's always Gul'dan with his hammer, straight up in the air. For anyone that's familiar with Gul'dan, he's a dwarf god, patron of the dwarves. Huge hammer. Anyone that's familiar with him will know he'll hold a golden hammer made of full gold. And you can see a depiction of him on the silver from Niflheim. Again, the silver and gold and copper from the human realm Terra usually has the god or the king of that particular realm minted on it. However, it's universally traded, meaning it could have one king or the other. It's not discriminated against if you're giving silver from another kingdom. No
Okay.
one really gives a shit. If it's real silver, is real silver. Real gold, real copper. So which do you hand him?
I don't want to raise any suspicions, so I'm just going to give him the silver from this area.
Would you have thought to think about that? Would you have like instinctively think, oh shit, this has gold on it?
Well, not because you just explained it to me. So I guess if we're going to stick to the original RP, then we'll just say I grabbed a handful
You
of
handed him just a
silver.
mix. Yeah,
It's
like,
a mix.
you
It's
just-
a mix. Yeah, it's a mix.
Yeah, he grabs it, looks at it, bites it, puts it in his pocket. Doesn't even really care.
Okay. So.
Alright. So I guess back over here, right?
Yeah. So Traherne, seems like the winch Lizette is going to get a cleaner barrel. She's going to go clean it out at least for you, which is kind of nice, I guess. It did have pig shit in it. And are you going to go head over to the table? You do see everyone in a table in the corner.
Yeah.
I was very drunk, so I stumble over, and I'm holding the L on one hand, like almost done, and I point toward here, and there's like, we're like some,
We're going kind of over, by the way, guys.
yeah. So
It's okay. We wrapped it up.
okay,
Is
so I
you
was
good for
just
another
saying,
5 minutes?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, sorry.
so I just look at here, and
Yeah.
I was like, would you like some water? And then I hand it to him, and it's like I'm drunk, so and then I pass out.
You hand him your water skin?
No, my cup of L,
Cup of L. He says it's water.
and then I pass out.
He's wasted.
So I pass out
Yeah,
right
it's,
there.
it's pretty obvious. So you pass out on the floor, or you pass out like in a seat?
Wherever I'm standing, I guess on the floor.
Okay. Anyone helping him?
No.
No.
I'll reach over and pick him up and slam him into the seat next to me in between Bill and I.
Okay.
And
Philip
then I'll
looks at you guys.
down the rest of his pint.
Yep. Philip looks at you guys. Oh, you guys. Hey. Yeah, how's it going?
Mighty fine.
I just followed them. I don't know. I didn't know the guy. I didn't even really glance at him when he walked by.
I walk up the steps here towards this table. Oh, I forgot the
Yeah, there's
priest's
a
name.
seat that you can pull in.
Yeah, what's the
you can definitely fit in.
What was the priest's name again? That was at the church. Did it have? What was his name?
Father Blot, I believe his name was.
Father Blot. Okay. I addressed everybody at the table and I said,
Father Blount. Blonte.
Mr. Pilf, I just spoke with Father Blot over at the church, and he said that you could probably provide us some insight about our travels that as we prepare north to contest the creatures. Could you provide us with some information?
There's a lot to share. you guys seem like you've traveled a ways and ran into some trouble yourself. As he saw you guys go into the clinic and getting treated. Would you prefer a room tonight? I can take care of the bill if you guys would like. I don't know if you have any money on you.
Absolutely
Seem like
would love
nice
rooms.
people. Yeah, Manticore's got pretty nice rooms. I've stayed here once or twice when my house has been destroyed and rebuilt with the issues to the north. Pretty nice place if you guys want to crash here tonight. I'll take care of you guys. If anyone wants to roll insight or anything in regards to what he said, you can. Seems like this guy's willing to pay for your rooms for tonight.
Yeah.
Nope. I kind
Anyone
of
else?
when he starts talking about the footing the bill and stuff, I'm just calling out to the Gerald. Where's me ale and me food?
I just say rest sounds great. Would we be able to talk with you in the morning?
Yeah. So Wraith and Radix, both of your characters' insight checks ring true, meaning seems like a nice guy. Definitely seems like there's some issues in this town. Doesn't want you guys to go anywhere, meaning like more men here, the more safe the town is kind of how he's portraying it. Doesn't seem malicious or anything like that. He just wants you guys to hang out. Kind of like the two that were up at the room. I think here, right? You had some dealings, or you said something to this guy.
Yeah, we had small talk.
Yeah, so he kind of likes you guys. Want you guys to stick around. Seems like this town doesn't get much travelers. And
we will always appreciate any room that you can get for us.
yeah, you guys asked about questions in the morning. I think you guys should definitely go take a rest. We could talk. I'll be around. This old man, I've made my share of gold. I can retire peacefully. But these invasions from the north are not fun. We've had a lot of issues to the north. We could talk about that tomorrow. Let's let you guys rest for today. Eat and drink. Enjoy yourselves. I'll be here in the morning as well. As he says that, Lizette comes over. Somehow carrying two barrels. One barrel of half of it filled with coffee. Roll me a d20 to see if it still smells like shit. 10 or better, it doesn't smell like shit. It's clean. Kahir, your whole barrel of ale. When I say barrel, it's not like a huge barrel. It's more like a keg, smaller size barrel that you could probably throw in your satchel, but it'll be a little bit heavy. Enough to at least fill maybe 5 or 6 tankards. She hands that over to you. Seems like Dr. Camille had ordered you guys some food as well. So you guys got some salami on a plate with some about day-old bread, along with what looks to be like a little tiny cup of carrot soup. Whoever had the carrots up their ass, you'll know that that's the same carrots that were in that soup.
Yeah.
And ale, just regular ale instead of the Manticore special ale. Much lighter in color. More of like ale for drinking while you're having some food, rather than getting tipsy and enjoying the ale. She places it all down. She looks very tired, by the way. She looks like she's the only person that's really doing anything around here. Places it all down. Stands there for a moment to see if anyone's going to tip her.
I'm gonna give her like, how much do I have? Let me look.
I'm gonna give her a silver piece.
Gotta get the money from you guys somehow, right?
I'm gonna give her 1 silver piece as well.
She bows. She does that thing with the skirt where she kind of bows gently and lifts her skirt up a little bit. Yeah. And nods to you, and quickly puts it in her pocket. Same thing for anyone else giving her. Make sure you remind us it from your character sheets.
Yeah,
already
I'll,
did.
I'll throw in another silver.
So yeah,
Like I said,
silver's a
how about you
lot,
come
by
and
the way,
join
guys.
us?
Silver is a lot. Usually,
yeah.
a
My
tankard of
whole
ale
keg
is like
probably
1 to 2
yeah.
copper. So
Okay.
you
My
guys are
whole
giving away a
keg
silver
was
to her.
probably
She's
like
like,
2 silver.
these guys are rich. She's definitely saying to herself, like, these guys are made of money or something. This is kind of strange. Like, you don't give that much of a tip without expecting something in return. So maybe someone will have a visit tonight. You never know.
I will kind of lean over to her and a not so whisper and be like, "Hey, can I get the fish, please?"
Yeah. So okay, here, roll me a. What would be like a smell? Is that perception or?
It'd be perception based on smell, yes.
Okay, so roll me a perception check to see if you smell the fish cooking. It's definitely cooking, not burnt yet. Smells good. But probably, I mean, you're probably more familiar with fish cooking than anyone. If she probably leaves it for another minute or two, it'll probably start to sear too much. Get that burnt taste.
I tell her, I'd
But
be like,
she's
"You
still
probably
standing
want to
there.
take that off. Go get it before it
She
burns."
nods to you and she hurries off like super fast. You guys literally gave her a fuck ton of money. Hurries off super fast, grabs it from the stove, uh, puts a couple of mint and some spices on top, and rushes it back to you. Literally still searing in her plate. Hands it, puts it down. Roll me a d20.
Who's rolling the d20? All of us?
Ooh.
It looks fucking awesome. Perfectly cooked. Smells excellent. And she then does the curtsy and turns to
Wait,
walk away.
you couldn't have done it better. Here, another silver, and I give her another silver.
She's getting rich.
He's also gonna have a happy time tonight, I feel.
She leans over and whispers in your ear. You staying here tonight?
Nah.
Yeah, maybe here.
So is
Like
it
I
gonna
said,
be
we
a,
have an empty spot at the table now that Orpheus is passed out. How about you join us?
She again whispers in your ear. Me too. And walks away. She ignores you. You didn't tip her.
What
Not
a
the
nice
doc-
lady.
not the doctor?
Later that night, Traherne flies into
I mean,
Kahir's
the doctor
bedroom
already
as a
paid
mosquito.
You guys didn't have to give her anything. But yeah. And that's where
Oh, no.
we'll call today's session as you guys are eating and drinking. I will bring you guys up to the rooms if you guys want to call rooms before we go tonight.
Okay, that works.
All right.
So you guys can call whatever room you like, except for Orpheus. Orpheus, you hear in your mind a voice that calls out to you. Sanguine one. Take the closest room to the stairs tonight.
So at
It's
this
been a
time,
while since you've fed.
so at this time, I guess I'm just sort of like up but still drunk, and then just stumble. Oh, where did I go? Oh, there you go. I'll stay
I need a bath.
right here.
Yeah, Orpheus, you see a pretty plain room. Although these rooms, some of them look shitty, like with a couple of beds, they all kind of look the same, except for the room that Valens took. Valens's room has its own bath, whereas there is a bath in the center here as well. Shared bath, you can still have your privacy. There's 2 separate rooms for the bath. But Valens's room actually has its own bath. Every other room looks exactly the same. Doran, your room also has its own bath.
Okay.
The rooms with their own baths, you can tell. Give me perception checks really quick for smells as you guys enter those 2 rooms with the baths.
Perception.
You
Doran,
fancy.
you're pretty sure the rooms with the baths inside are for women that are staying in taverns, so that they don't have to share a bath with men.
I'm okay with this.
Smells nicer than the rest of the rooms. If you were to go in the other rooms and take a whiff, probably smells like feet. These rooms kind of smell more of a little bit of perfume and other nicer things. Some flowers may be wilting on the stand from someone who's probably staying here before. And you guys all taking a rest, or at least you called your rooms, maybe heading back down to drink some more, hang out, taking a bath.
Taking a bath. I mean, my guy, I literally came from the desert, teleported, then teleported again. My guy's like, bruh.
Aaron's in the restroom, shitting from all the coffee he's drank today.
Yeah.
And that's where we're end today's session. I know we kind of went over a lot of RP today. No battles. There was opportunities for it, but I think you guys did a lot within the town. Got a lot of information, at least to what's been going on around here. When we resume next week, balls in your court. What you guys want to do? I'm going to let you explore out, do whatever you want. Obviously, you guys have some quests that you can follow. But again, the game is yours now. I've gone through as much RP as I can up to this point. But yeah, there's a lot open-ended that you guys can go out and do. And we'll see what happens next week. Thanks everyone for playing.
Next week on Dragon Ball Z.
Hell yeah.